No, there ain't no stopping us. Fly without boarding pass. Couldn't catch me, I be moving fast. Call me a shooting star. Let 'em know who you are. Flying up in a bar. Wish on a star. Time to show 'em who's in charge. Call me a shooting star. Didn't even get to cross. I said I'm moving too far. Get to glass. Looking at a shooting star. Got more than a couple of people going mad. I swear they're rooting hard. Tell them I be big in the game like she went and got them breast implants. I said I'm moving too fast. Didn't even get a glance. I'm ready to eat up track like I'm seated in a restaurant. If you had swag like mine, you know it's best to flaunt. We aren't hating because you want. Shining like it's neon. Rock like Kings of Leon. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, they might just have to leave. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, they might just have to leave. Yeah, shoot, 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 shoot. Yeah, shoot, shoot. Yeah, shooting, shooting, shooting. Yeah, shooting, shot. Shooting stars, shooting stars, shooting stars, shooting stars. Didn't even get to cross.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.
What's happening, people? Welcome to Tottenham Away. We've got hundreds already locked in. Emotions are running high, clearly. Everyone wants to talk about this one. Surprise, surprise. Welcome. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, follow the channel. Make sure you follow the Hotspur Hood. Make sure you follow Football Heritage TV as well, CMO Sports. Everyone on the panel. Listen, we've got 6 Spurs fans, 2 Gooners, and a friend of mine, Spiros, who we did a video a couple of weeks ago at the Spurs Stadium, who said, I need to come on, I need to talk. Fine. Everyone's allowed to come and have their say. Guys, look, I'm not even going to get into the how are you, because we'll just go around and spend 30 minutes just saying hello. Let's just get straight into it, all right? Because we know we all want to speak. The starting lineups, usual back four for Spurs. It was a midfield of Kulu, Bentancur, Maddison. A lot of us kind of predicted that. That's kind of what we went with. Son went out left, Solanke striker, Johnson starting out wide. And then Arsenal, no surprises there. Partey, Jorginho, Trossard, a lot of us kind of predicted that. Saka, Martinelli, Havertz across the front three. And no Odegaard and no Rice. Some people were saying Odegaard was going to play. No, he's not. He's injured. And you know what? On paper, you say it's a pretty even game, although Arsenal, they've got a far better defence. They've got a far balanced squad, and they do know how to control a game. Spurs are more on the front foot, pressure, passing, pressure, possession, but no cutting edge. And in the end, look, we couldn't cut them open. We didn't have the cutting edge. We didn't have the quality. Arsenal, I don't think were that great, but they didn't have to be because they were composed. They controlled their defensive play, set piece. They got it. They won the game, and we didn't look like getting back into it. So, look, whoever wants to go first, go first. All I'm going to say is this, and then we can have as many debates as you want. For all the channels that have stirred hate on this channel and myself personally, that we question Ange Postecoglou, all we do is hate the club, all we do is hate Levy. How dare us question Ange? It's a process, it's a rebuild, it's a project, blah, blah, blah. I don't know where any of you can possibly have any legs to stand on after that. I just don't get it. I don't. I think we've got every right to question this manager, every right to call him a yes man for the, in my opinion, mediocre players we've signed who failed to deliver, something we've been banging on about for weeks. And we've got every right to question this chairman who continues to do this to this football club. We have every right to do this because we are being proven right time and time and time again. So I'll leave it there. We'll debate it. Whoever wants to go first, feel free. Hopefully it's not an Arsenal fan going first.
Go on then. Connor, WhatsApp me, send me your details. I'll send it over to you on the show if you want, mate. Other point is, Stefan should have put your money where your mouth is, shouldn't you? And Connor should have bet me 100 quid.
I should have done, but I learned my lesson from the first time. No.
Fair enough, man. No, fair enough. It was all bad enough. Fair enough. But you should have.
Yeah.
Listen, sort your bets out later, right? Sort out your bets later. I want to know where we stand as Spurs fans. The Arsenal fans, you're jubilant. You've got 3 points. You're back to second, third in the league. You got City next, massive game for you lot. But us as Spurs fans, honestly, I never once in that stadium felt or believed after about 20, 30 minutes we were going to do anything.
I will quote.
You can see it.
I will quote Michael. I will quote Michael. We were fucking boring. That's it. That's it. I'm bored. I'm just bored. I don't care about 70% possession. I don't care about passing side to side. It's boring. And football bores the shit out of me. I'm bored. There was no point in the game I felt like we were going to score. But this is not the first time, right? Because Arsenal has a great defense. There's been many times I felt that way, going back into the last season and going to this season. We're boring. We are a boring team. This is Ange ball. This is the entertaining football. Are you entertained? That's all I ask. Are you entertained? I'm not. I'm bored out my fucking mind. I could have been watching Gangs of London on Netflix. Just be honest.
To be honest, you admitted, Sama. Go on, because I've seen you try to.
Sorry, I was muted. Some people like that. Look, do you know what? I think it's just past the point of. There's no. I'm not even angry. Like, we should be hurt
Exactly.
that we've lost to Arsenal, but for me, I'm just going to say whatever I talk about today. This is not about losing to Arsenal in one game. This is the bigger picture. This is for a long time now. We've had this caveat that all right, results aren't going our way, but Ange is bringing back free-flowing football. We're exciting to watch, and field tilt's great. Whatever that is, I still don't understand. Field tilt's great. Pressing's great. Chances great. I'm watching Spurs, and I'm feeling the same as every manager that plays against us. And what I mean by that is we can sit there and say Arsenal weren't great today. Arsenal did everything I thought they were going to do before the game. Arsenal sat in, realised we had nothing to break them down, kept it compact, solid at the back, and then just hit us on the counter-attack. And this is now becoming a theme of every single game we play. Teams have figured this boring, monotonous manager out. And what's concerning for me in all of this, chaps, is the manager is still coming out and saying things that half our fan base are, I'm going to say it, I'm just saying it, are dumb enough to believe we're getting better in certain areas. I'm pleased with what I'm seeing. You know, if we finish our chances, Ange, dude, you've won 8 of your last 22 games of football. That's a 36% win rate. A 36% win rate is what most relegated managers have.
Yep.
They have between 30 and 38% win rate. They get sacked, right? We can't defend. Players like Romero, and again, I don't care what any of you say, again, can't defend. Can't defend, doesn't defend properly, switches off. Nothing in midfield. Absolutely nothing in midfield. Crap forwards that he signed, Odegaard, Johnson, Solanke. This is his team, right?
Yeah.
I'm so past caring about anything that anybody tells me about a project, about this manager needs time. This manager has been here now for 14, 15 months. Look at what Unai Emery did in 14, 15 months at Aston Villa. And now look at what this manager is doing at Tottenham. He is killing the club. And I hate Levy. I'll round it off on this. I hate Levy. I hate Enoch. All the blame, ultimately, we know, funnels from the top. But these players should no way be playing this boring style of football. And no way should we be conceding the goals that we're constantly conceding. This manager needs to go back to Scotland. That's his level. He is shocking. Last thing I'll say, sorry, Stel. If any other manager in the Premier League had this run of form, any other manager, we're laughing at them and telling them they should be sacked. But at Spurs, we're sitting there and saying, oh, but it's only 4 games. Well, it's not. His last 40 games have been utterly shambolic. I can't stand this guy anymore. And for me, if he doesn't beat Coventry and he doesn't beat Brentford, this guy has got to go. He is shocking.
Do you know
I
what?
agree on basically most.
Matt, Dan, I just want to give one stat here, and I just want to do a super chat, and you can go, right? 1 win against the top 10 since December 2023 is unbelievable.
10
Estelle.
Quick super chat, and then because otherwise I'm not going to get it done. Thank you, Jamie, who says, as a Spurs fan, if I see Brennan Johnson start from now on, I'm not watching the game. And bringing on Sarr instead of Bergvall when we needed a goal was criminal. It's time to start winning now. No more excuses. Listen, Jamie, no one's going to disagree with anything you've said there. Not a single thing, buddy.
Stop. I've
Got
another
hang on,
worse.
Stefan, hang on a second.
I've
got to confront.
I just want to say a stat. I just want to say a stat, and I'll let you speak, Dan. Yeah, I'll just say the stat. It's worse than the top 10 record. He in 37 games, he's kept only 4 clean sheets.
Oh, yeah, he's shit. He can't
totally
set up
agree. Yeah, but Sabo, I've got to confront on what you say. I think you're exaggerating and going a bit OTT as usual with it, yeah? What I mean is, you're saying we've been completely sussed out. We haven't. You can't say the Spurs players have sussed it out, yeah? So I think you're going OTT. Sorry, mate, I just had to say that.
Oh, mate,
because I don't think the Spurs players have sussed it out. I don't think they have.
Do you know what
I
like?
Madison,
it's the same team.
Madison might have.
And they're getting worse. It's madness that we've got worse.
I don't think they've sussed it out. I genuinely don't think they have. So we haven't been totally sussed out.
I think, and I think Sava hit the nail on the head, right? I think the worst thing that can happen to a football fan is when after losing a game, you are not pissed off, you are just disappointed and let down. Because when we played at home against Arsenal last season, right? And this game was a fucking shit show, that game against Arsenal in like April or whatever it was, right? But at least I said that if we make it a shit show, maybe there is a chance that something happens. And, and I know like Arsenal gave us all the ball, we scored 2 fluky goals, right? Whatever, right? But at least like I was sitting here with a bit of emotion and I was actually pissed after the game that we lost it. And I felt not like cheated that we lost, but, I felt just, let down and I felt anger and I was like cussing Arsenal fans on chats in YouTube lives and whatever, right? Today, I'm just, as I said in the lobby before we started, right? Like since minute 15 or maybe 20, I knew exactly how this game is going to go. And I think this is the worst thing because I was waiting for the inevitable, right? I was just sitting in front of the PC like I'm doing right now, and I was just waiting for that goal. And for me, it was either a counter or a set piece, one of the two, right? And I was just waiting for which one. And I up to the point that even on my mates group chat, I said this will finish 1-0, not 2-0, not 2-1, not 3-0, not 0-0. It's going to be 1-0 to the Asna, and they are going to catch us on a break or score from a set piece. This is exactly what happened, right? And after the game, as I said, last year I was pissed. Today I just switched off the stream and went on to do other things. And honestly, this is the worst thing that can happen to a football fan. I had the same feeling when we were under last month of Conte, right? Where you and all the Stellini and Mason shit show that was soon after, right? I just didn't care. And honestly, I'm shocked to say it's for 4 game weeks this season, and I just don't care, right? It hurts, of course, but a depleted Arsenal side came to our ground on a second gear and were in complete control of the game. I don't care what any Spurs fan says, they were in complete control of the game from the beginning until the final whistle. Nothing we could have done to score the game. We could have been playing up until now, and it would have been 2-0. Maybe 2 or 3-0. Maybe.
Michael, after the game, I did a video in the stands, I uploaded it, and I just went downstairs to see what was going on, right? And I literally wanted to just throw up, okay? So we've lost 1-0 in the North London derby. This is the South Stand, packed, drinking, eating in the stadium now. This is after 1-0. I go out of the stadium, drinking, eating in the outdoor part of the stadium. It's almost like it's okay. It's okay. Because we're going to win the league at the end of May. I feel like I feel like an outsider in the club. I feel like a complete outsider.
Stell, it's okay. Even if you lost to Arsenal, remember that you're winners at life. Just remember.
No. They're winning a trophy this season, Stefan. They're winning a trophy now.
We're not.
Yeah, just
your manager has now come out and said,
that
you're
he
going to
always. He didn't say I usually. He said I always win, and this little kind of act that he continuously does in press conferences, from being this hey mate, this really nice guy, is slowly turning into him becoming, let's be honest, a bit prickly. Yeah. So I'm really interested. If he loses to Coventry, it's gonna get really bad. It's gonna get really, really bad, because then I think the fans, the fans, the Spurs fans, I'm actually shocked at how quickly they're turning. To be honest, because
I told you this though, Stefan. I told you our fans turn like the wind. 1 minute it's
no. They're turning quicker than Mourinho and Conte, from what I remember. And
not really. Ange's been here over 12 months now. This is kind of that point now where we get to the turning point. This is when it happened.
No, I just want to say, as an Arsenal fan, of course, I was gutted that Odegaard and Rice wouldn't play, but I wasn't as confident as Connor was. But I just knew Arteta would adjust and would have a plan, and that we still had enough players on that pitch to win the game. However, where I was shocked, and I think this should be a large part of this discussion, me and Mari spoke after the game about this, but my main talking point from the game, I was on Charlie's stream, is
can I no, wait, hold on. Yeah. Before he does it, let everyone guess what it's about, because it's so fucking obvious. It's so obvious what he's gonna say.
Yes. Can we stop, or just excusing? Because I'm fed up. And if I ever hear you, Stell, ever do another show comparing him to Saliba and Gabriel,
Romero was fouled. Romero was fouled.
Oh, he was fouled now. Oh my God.
No. Stop. Hold on. JP sits in the North Stand. He got video footage right?
No,
I'll show
no.
you. No. You
Only
decide.
Spurs fans.
What
We've
do
all
you mean
seen
only
it.
Spurs
It was-
fans? I'm sorry
Mate.
you weren't in the stadium and we were, Stefan. No, hold on.
Okay. So
No.
stop. Wait. Let me
haven't
just ask
seen
him
the
this time.
evidence.
Wait.
You
Stop.
haven't- No.
Okay,
You haven't
okay,
seen the
okay.
evidence, and you're all going no.
Okay, stop.
We've all
Let
seen
me.
it still. We've
seen the replay. There was TV
Vicario
replays.
then still. Vicario didn't come off his line trying to get the ball.
Okay,
We've
We've all
all
seen a million replays. You can't convince. This is the Stel. This
What
is
do you
what
mean
we're
can't
doing.
convince? No, for me, no, it's not. Saba, if I'm
You're in denial.
No.
Romero was
again.
fouled.
Romero again.
Oh my! Romero was fouled.
Okay, watch the video.
Our
Let's watch the
fans
video.
can't just
Watch the
say,
video.
Yeah, Romero's been bad again. We have to find a reason to
Yeah.
excuse him.
Okay, no. Stell, was that? Wait. Let me wait.
Hold on.
Wait, let me. Stell. Hold on. Let me. Let me ask you.
Against Newcastle, I said he's to blame. Against
Leicester?
Newcastle, I said he's to blame.
Leicester? What about Leicester? What about Leicester? He fell asleep.
Can we talk about today? Because this is the Arsenal Spurs game, right? I want to show the video, right? Romero and Gabriel. Romero and Gabriel. You haven't seen this video because only JP took the video. No one's seen this video. Right? This is behind the goal. Gabriel and Romero together near the penalty spot, and after about 10 seconds, they both run. Two hands. Gabriel pushes him.
It
wasn't like that.
Yes, I do.
It was a little nudge.
It wasn't a little nudge. Watch.
Yeah, play the clip.
Play the video, then decide. Play the video.
This. I guarantee you, if this was Ben Davis,
Stefan, watch the
I
video.
guarantee you, if this was Ben Davis or Eric Dyer,
watch.
Oh, really, Stel?
There's nothing in that. There's nothing in that.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Can I say something? All right,
Isn't he Mr. Tough Guy?
They'd all be crying.
Like I told Dan.
Stella, are you seriously doing this? Stella, are you seriously giving this excuse? Are you serious?
This is denial.
Stephen, listen, Stephen, you brought up.
No, don't do it, Mari. Don't do it, Mari, please.
No, I won't do it. No, I won't do it. I'm gonna bring up.
My god. Okay.
Wait, let Mari speak. Let Mari speak.
Let's speak. I spoke to Dan. And I will say this: as a South American, he should be tougher than this. When I was watching the Peacock channel in United States, our commentator is legend Lee Dixon, who played for Arsenal for 14 years. Right? I'm watching the game. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I taped it, 15 seconds and 40 seconds of what Lee Dixon said on the group chat on WhatsApp. With the Romero push or slight push, he says, great job by Gabriel by pushing him, giving him space to be able to head. And I have the 15 seconds. Anybody can hear it. I can send it. And that's Lee Dixon, Arsenal legend, professional football player who said that. Now, am I still mad at Romero? Yes. I'm still upset. But people have to be honest. He didn't completely checked out on his man. Gabriel did a great tactic. Gabriel shoved him and got
show that video again. Watch Romero losing.
Okay. And then
he doesn't. Wait. Here's wait. Because watch him. He doesn't even look back.
Romero.
He doesn't even look back.
Romero switched off now.
Yes.
He switched off.
See? He completely switched off.
He switched off. He's not the right side.
And then the second thing
he's pushed with two hands by the left.
Listen. Let me finish. The second thing,
you're not going to make me change my mind on this.
Listen.
Do I think that's why we lost?
Stop.
Do I think because of that the game changed? No, I think we deserve to lose because we were crap.
Wait. Let me finish. The second thing Lee Dixon said, and Tim Howard, yeah, you're stealing my thunder. And Tim Howard, who played for Everton, who's also on the broadcast, says that Vicario has to do better there. I'm concerned about Vicario and his keeping, and that's a concern. Now, if you want to say Romero is soft in that, I will agree with you.
Mari.
Wait, stop. Wait. Can I just revoke it because
what Lee Dixon said.
Wait. Let me reply because I started this topic.
Yeah, you did start it.
Was the goal against Leicester not extremely similar? Did he not forget about the guy behind him and completely leave him open?
Every week
he's doing this.
Okay. Second question. Wait. Let me continue. Everton, when you were 1-0 up, Everton's best chance, Jack Harrison, where again he ball watches instead of looking at his man, keeps Jack Harrison onside while your whole line moves up. He does this every single week where he ball watches instead of reading the game and positioning himself. Newcastle, he pushes up. All of the other defense stay back, and so vacates the space. Leicester, in the second chance they had, which Vardy should have scored, he pushes up again completely, leaves the space. Vicario makes a goal save, like a massive save. And then today, you're telling me, Mr. Tough Guy, Mr. Argentina, okay, who still defends for some fucking reason. He's been shit the whole season. Okay,
last two games,
I don't know why he's being shit still.
You're building up a story. You're building up a story of the past to justify today's incident.
You've compared him. You have compared him to Saliba.
No, you're biased. You're biased. See, you're going back.
I'm biased
now. Yes, because
I'm biased.
Yes, you're biased because what you're doing is you're building up a history in order to justify one event. No, I look at everything independently.
No, I guarantee this.
I'm going to back you up.
Stefan, one second, right? You know, because he's calling me out. Do I blame him?
I am.
Okay, so let me respond instead of you shouting. Against Leicester, I blame Romero. Against Newcastle, I blame Romero. Today, this game, I don't blame him for that. I don't.
Okay,
What's the problem?
Can I stick up for Stefan here? I'm going to stick up for Stefan here. The reason why you build up a case over time is to show that this is not an isolated incident, right? Now, if you actually watch that frame by frame, no matter if there is a push in the back or not, for me, the push is not enough to put off a grown man who's meant to be a centre half and a hard guy, right? If you actually watch it, before that push, Romero is not the right side of his man when the ball arrives to the box. Now, this is not an opinion. This is fact. Anybody who teaches kids at a young age or defenders how to defend, you are taught to be, right? You are taught to be goal side of your attacker. Christian Romero, if you watch that clip really closely, forget the push for a minute, he wasn't in the right position to begin with because he's ball watching. And the problem is every game Romero's doing something, right?
So why did Gabriel push him then, Sava?
Hang on, hang on.
Oh my God, we're still talking about this push.
Sava, not you, Stefan.
Hang on.
Why did it justify? Why did Gabriel push Romero then?
Listen, still, because football used to be a man's game where there was pushing and shoveling and jostling, right?
Yeah.
Now we've got to the stage where, oh my God, he's put a couple of hands on me. Listen, Romero for me. First of all, can you show the video one more time, please? Without everyone,
but you haven't answered the question. So why did Gabriel push him then? Why?
I'm trying to. If you let me finish, if you play that video one more time without everyone talking over it, right? And do it. If we can slow it down. Watch Romero here, right? Right, Romero here, right? And ready. I'll show you when. Ready, steady. He's lost him. Right there.
Why did he push him, Sava? Why did he push him?
How is that a push?
He wouldn't have got to it still.
Because two hands doing that's a push.
This is copium.
I agree on both sides. What does the law say? What does the law state in football? Two hands on someone as a push is a foul.
Thank you.
I don't agree with it. I'm not making it right. To me, it was hang on. To me,
this is why we deserve failure.
It was a shove.
It
weren't even a push. It was a
push.
Romero should have been able to handle that.
Either way, right?
But if you go by the law, it states that it's actually a foul. But I don't agree that it is a foul.
Thank you.
But if you go by the law,
the laws of the game, the laws of the game.
I'm still Dixon.
Still,
I don't agree it is.
That's all.
Still.
Okay,
It's the law.
Dan,
Declan
I
Rice-
just want to ask
Declan Rice
this.
got a red card. Declan Rice got a red card because the laws of the game were followed. Do we agree with the laws? No, we
I
think
just
it's
don't
stupid.
think there was enough in it, though. I don't
Me
think there was.
neither.
Doesn't matter what you
No,
think.
nor do I.
Well, of course you don't, Connor.
But the rules are 2 hands on someone pushing them is a foul.
Sure, but if we're going to look at this on face value, as I said, Romero lost his man again. Romero lost his man again, right?
Yeah.
Even without the push, he's not getting that ball because his positioning is bad, his concentration is bad. And this is now the 4th game in a row where Romero's been really bad and people are still trying to justify this man's performance. Now, my question is this. We bought in Dragusin in the January window, and we all complained that we need depth. We need options. We bring in Dragusin. The mere mention that Dragusin should maybe get 2 or 3 games to show what he could do, our fans go mad. Oh, my God, you can't drop Romero. Why? Romero's been at fault for most of our goals. Why is he not allowed to come out and Dragusin goes in for a bit?
Can I bring in Spiros and Ian because they haven't said a word and we're going for half an hour. Let them have a right. Let me Spiro. Let me bring you in, and then Ian, you can speak after. Where are you at with it all, Spiro? Not just Romero, but Spurs, this game, and Ange and Levy and the players. How you think? How you feeling?
Firstly, with Romero, boys, I don't know if you've noticed this, but every game he makes a mistake.
Every game.
Every game.
Thank you.
Either leads to a goal or it could lead to a goal. That's the first point. Yeah? Secondly, Vicario. Yeah, my man. Everyone loves off Vicario, but he does not command his box ever.
Thank you. Thank
He
you.
never commands his box.
Thank you, Spiros.
He is
It's like a head shaking contest. Thank you.
Like a lost.
Let me speak.
He's like a lost little boy that's scared. He can never command his box. Now, everyone's jumping on the Postecoglou out bandwagon at the moment, yeah? The guy plays good. He knows how to play good football. The problem is he does not have the personnel to do it. He has not got the right players to play the way he wants to play. If he had a decent striker, a decent midfield, a decent defence, a decent goalie, I reckon he'll do a lot better than what he's doing. The fact is, we do have the personnel to play the system that Ange wants to play. That's where I stand on it. Madison.
So Spiro, let me ask you a question.
Shouldn't he realize this and change the way he plays, right? If he doesn't have the personnel.
Crap all of a sudden. What's happened to Madison?
Forget Madison. It's all of them, Spiros. It's all of them. This formation doesn't suit any of them, Spiros.
I don't want people.
One player is he getting the best out of, not one.
Sava. I don't want people to focus on one player today. The whole fucking collective was abysmal today. The whole collective, every single one of the 11 players on the pitch.
But Michael,
honestly, sorry, Stefan. Except Van de Ven. I think Van de Ven was okay today. I think Van de Ven
he was good.
And he honestly was doing his stuff, right? Being a brilliant defender he is. Every single one of them. Romero, honestly, Sava, because you said about dropping him, right? I would drop him not even for the mistakes that he makes, but for the sheer fact that he's slowing down play so much. He's so slow on the ball. The passing is non-existent. He just passes sideways after taking 5 touches on the ball. Like, if you don't care, Romero, then sit on the bench. If you don't care, if you are not interested in playing, sit on the bench. Let Dragusin play. That's Stefan.
Go on.
Sorry.
Johnson. I mean, it's everybody. I was bored, Michael. I was bored. This team.
Madison, Kulu, Johnson, they were all shit. No one gets a pass. They were all shit.
We're going to get into every single player. I want Ian. Thanks for being on the show, Ian. You're normally the most sensible one, so how do you feel?
Good evening, all. Well, firstly, I won't say I'm surprised because when I was with you a few days ago, still, we were putting in our predictions. It was only Lee and myself that went for an Arsenal win.
Yeah.
In terms of Romero, yes, maybe it's a push, but I played defence and I was pushing and shoving and people shoving me. And you've got to be tough and you've got to be strong. And you know, if you're going to block someone, stand sideways on, put your shoulder into his chest, and he doesn't go forward, does he? End of. Finished. And for me personally, Romero is every bit as good as Saliba and Gabriel, no question about it. But his head's in Madrid already. So for me, it brings me on to I've been shouting since Dragusin joined. You've got 3 centre backs in Dragusin, Romero, and Van der Ven that all have different qualities. Ange has now had 3 transfer windows, and he is picking the players. So there are no excuses. I didn't see the first half today. I had a family do on, and I managed to watch the second half. And I've got a friend sitting next to me straight after Arsenal scored. And I just watched the first 15 minutes, and he said to me, "Do you reckon you get back in the game?" I said, "We could be playing this time next week. Doesn't look like we're going to score." The players are not set up for his system. His system is naive. That's probably being as polite as I can be on a podcast. No one's ever played 2 at the back and been successful.
Yeah.
The players are better. The players are not great, but they're better than how they're performing because the system is completely wrong.
Yeah.
You've got, for me, you should be playing the 3 at the back. Personally, I would play Spence and Udogie as wing backs. I'd push Porro further up in front of Spence because God knows Johnson isn't up to it. Odegaard is a young kid, and it's not fair to expect too much from this kid that's come in from Burnley. He's 19 years old. Give him a run. Bring him on from the bench or put him in the under-21s and let him develop there. But the problem is we have a manager who is intransigent. It's okay if you're playing this way in Scotland where you've got all the best players. You can afford to give away some goals, and you're not up against too much in terms of managerial tactical competition. Maybe Rangers, maybe Aberdeen, Hibs, Hearts, possibly, but he was way ahead. His players were way ahead of every other club. So was I surprised? No. The whole thing's wrong. Sonny has no space. Maddison has no space. You've got, it's funny because I came back afterwards and I watched the second half of Wolves Newcastle, and Eddie Howe plays a proper system, and the players have space and they have movement and they create movement. And I don't know whether you saw Harvey Barnes' goal today.
What a goal. What a
goal. But he cut in from the left, and it's funny actually, it reminded me, not the shot, because Kane's goal against Chelsea was to the bottom left-hand corner. But the way, I don't know if you remember when we won 5-3, Kane cut across 2 or 3 players and hit a great shot into the bottom left. But the space was there. How can players have this space when he's got inverted fullbacks closing in as 10s? He's got Maddison and Kulusevski as a 10 already. You didn't need much from Bentancur today because Arsenal hardly had an attack. But Arteta set the team up perfectly just to play a low block and to hit us on the break and score from a set piece. He didn't really have to do much. And Arsenal weren't particularly good, but they didn't have to be good. And I just see problems going for the next few weeks. And for me, now is the time you bring Gray and Bergvall in and you give them a run. Because Maddison has done absolutely nothing apart from put the ball in for Porro's goal against Leicester. We don't have a 6. Basuma's not good enough. Bentancur's not a 6.
Yes, he is. And he did it today, and he did it for 4 years at Juventus.
Bentancur is an 8. You can hardly compare Bentancur to Rodri and Polina, can you? Come on.
He's a DM and he done it for 4 years at Juventus. And today when we played him as a DM, he looked better than Basuma and he was better than Sarr.
But he wasn't a 6 exactly. He wasn't a 6 exactly at Juventus. He wasn't because he played
under DM.
Okay, okay. I also watched him, but he didn't play as a pure number 6 in a 4-3-3 system. He played as part of usually a 3 at the back, or I think with Sarri, they played with 4 at the back. He played under Sarri's system
and a deep line playmaker at the same time.
I mean, he's not.
I don't think he's a 6 at all.
I don't think
he's the only DM we've got. He's the only one who has
No,
played
he's
it.
not. No, he's
naturally.
not.
He's not a DM,
He's
Dan.
not a DM.
He's not.
But he's the only. You're missing what I'm saying. He's the only one we've got who has done it on a regular basis, and he did it for 4 years.
Dan, he didn't. Juventus didn't. He didn't play. He didn't. He didn't. We're shoehorning players in. The same with Basuma. Basuma is judged against being a number 6 when he's not. But I want to back up Ian here. Ian, sometimes when I watch, obviously, look, we all agree and disagree at times. When I watch Ian, most of the time, I'll admit, Ian, I disagree with what you say. Everything you've just said there, I'm 100% on board with. 100% agreed with, apart from the playing Graham Bergvall bit. And I'll come to that. The problem is, this formation, I keep hearing, like what Spiro said, I keep hearing that, Ange hasn't got the players to play this. How do we know this? Ange has managed in really poor leagues, and he's never actually demonstrated that he's worked with top players and that this formation can work anywhere other than those leagues. Secondly, not one player he is getting the best out of. Udogie looks absolutely shocking this year. Romero's making mistakes left, right, and centre. Mickey van der Ven, his hamstrings are going to pop at some point. Yeah. Pedro Porro, brilliant going that way. Really bad that way. Arsenal, everything they did in that first half was down his wing, getting in behind him for fun. Maddison's got no space to operate. Yeah. Bentancur, is he a 6? Is he an 8? What's he doing on the pitch? Papa Sarr looks dreadful. Johnson, Odegaard, Son, these guys all look clueless in what they're doing. So I'll ask this. Who is this football getting the best out of? Before we blame, it's Maddison. Like Maddison gets a lot of the heat. He gets a lot of the heat, right? But who is this getting the best out of? Who can say, I've played well consistently under Ange Postecoglou?
One player, Sava. One player.
Stefan, 1 second. Let's speak, then I'll come to you.
Supposed to be our Odegaard, isn't he? I can't see nothing in comparison to what he does compared to what Odegaard does.
Yeah, but Spiros, look at the formation. Look at Arsenal. Arsenal leave Odegaard as the playmaker, right? Spurs have both fullbacks playing in there. Kulu's playing in there with Maddison as well. Bentancur's pushing in there. Son's dropping in. Every time Spurs go forward, you watch Spurs attack. We have got 10 men against us beyond the ball. James Maddison's on the edge of the box, along with 2 fullbacks, 2 centre mids. And Maddison's having to drop deep into midfield. He's the only one that's coming to get it to try and start some playoff, because this formation isn't set up for a playmaker. Now, if we played wing backs, which is what we should do with the personnel we've got 2 bloody brilliant wing backs, 3 very good centre backs, and a playmaker. If he did that and actually said, do what you did at Leicester, right? And Spiros, at Leicester, James Maddison had Ndidi in the 6, Tielemans as the box-to-box number 8, and 2 wingers that actually acted like wingers and a centre forward who made runs. So whenever James Maddison got the ball, he'd look up. He's got 2 wingers to pick out. He's got a run. He's got Tielemans who's running beyond him to pick out. He's got Jamie Vardy making the runs. You watch now for Spurs. He's got 10 defenders in front of him. Every one of his teammates is alongside him. And I'm not giving him a pass. But my point is, none of the players in this system are playing well. Now, if it was 1 or 2 Spiros, I'd turn around and say, that's on them. But can anyone tell me who's played well since that 10 games, the first 10 games of last season, other than possibly Van der Ven? Who's played well?
I'll tell you what it is. I can answer this. And it goes back to what I said all of last season. Against the bottom 10, we're going to smash them. We're going to beat them by a couple of goals because our quality is better than the bottom 10, and this system will suffocate them. Yeah. When we play against the top 10, where managers are more savvy, the quality of players are better, we're getting outdone. So the issue we've got is we've got a system and a quality of player that will do well against the bottom 10, but against the top 10, we're found out. We're literally found out. And this is why we've got 1 win against the top 10 since December. And what I said on Dan's show last week and on this channel was Solanke is going to be a problem because playing Solanke as the striker means we're now forcing Son out left. Son is done out left.
I agree.
He's absolutely done. Son's best position is the number 9 in terms of he will score the most goals. He's the most clinical player, but he can only play a certain type of role as a 9. But if you play him in the 9, Solanke's on the bench. So now what do you do? Solanke and Son can't play together. The only solution, in my opinion, you've got to play 2 up top, not 3. Solanke and Son up top.
I agree.
But he's not going to change it.
I'm not giving the pass, by the way. I'm not giving Maddison a pass. My point is, we keep every week, I seem to go on a show and somebody's going, Maddison again today didn't pick up the game. And it's like, well, what did Bentancur do? What does Bazuma do? What does Son do? What's Odegaard doing? What's Johnson doing? It's all of them. This team is not set up for this manager's tactics. I don't care what
it is Angie's tactics, and I've said it for how long. Go and get an average team, play everyone in the right position to how they're meant to play.
Yep.
You'll get a better team. Yep. Give Ange the best team on this planet and give him the best defense ever. He will never, ever win a Premiership, win Premier League. He will never win a Bundesliga. He'd be lucky if he done the French League. He won't win the Spanish or the Italian. His system is too poor for a good league style. Why? Because he will concede too many goals. Simple as that. He might score, but he will concede too many goals. Give him the best defense ever. He will still concede too many goals. Like you said, we play attacking football, so we will concede more goals. But I'm fine with that. Give him the best defense ever. We'd still be lucky to get top 3. He will never, ever win anything in a proper league. And it's taken the man to get to 56 before he's even had a sniff of a real league. Because don't no one give me no bullshit that the Scottish Premier League is big. It is lower rated than the bloody USA League officially. And then are we going to talk about bloody China and Australia as well? Someone to say that's offensive.
Japan, Dan. Japan. Get it right. Okay, have some respect.
Some respect. I respect a league when it
guys.
Like,
can I read a quick super chat? Let me read a quick super chat because it's been sitting there for a while. Big up to Relevance, who says Romero was pushed. However, the shove happened moments before the ball arrived in the box.
Oh my God.
He did not recontest because he lacked the awareness of the situation. That's the reason he didn't protest. Listen, this is going to be a talking point for sure. Thank you for the super chat. Can I get onto the players of Spurs, right? Because for me,
they're not good enough still. They're not good enough, mate.
Well,
the sooner we realise not good enough.
It's Angie's tactics.
This is what we were told, right? This is what the journalist told us. Tony, Eze, Neto. We got Solanke. We kept Richarlison. We've got Kulu and Johnson, Odegaard and Werner. Right now, I thought today he was crap. He was abysmal. These two are a waste of money because they don't play. I was told that just you wait when Solanke starts, he'll get on the end of these balls. It's because Son doesn't make the right runs into the box. Oh, really? And I thought Maddison and Son today, look, we've discussed it. Guys, I don't think any of his signings that he made in the summer have proven anything for Tottenham Hotspur. But so many fans praise the window. And we got
I felt so bad for Johnson because Timber.
What?
Timber. Oh, yeah. No. Timber is built like a unit. It was like
Timber played well. Timber played really well.
It was a boy versus a man today. Like literally, I was like,
and they are same age. They are same age, by the way.
Like Timber is a unit, and like Johnson was just nothing. I mean, he pocketed him. But
Mari, can I quickly, just like 30 seconds, right? Because I want to raise a point that you just started, right? And it's not only Johnson versus Timber. Can we look at the whole team? Like the whole team of Arsenal were twice the size of our team.
Yeah,
bullying us all over the pitch. The center backs are fucking 6'4", right? And Romero is like, I'm taller than Romero, right? It's like Jesus Christ! Like I felt like I was watching something from Pornhub today.
But Michael, you're also missing. But wait, But wait, you guys.
I would have much more fun watching Pornhub than
Argentinian getting fucked. Is that what you're typing in?
Yeah. But wait, you guys are saying Arsenal are physical, which is true. But we're also missing Calafiori, who's 1.88 m, Mikel Merino, who's the best aerial midfielder in Europe and one of the best tacklers. We were missing Declan Rice. So this again today was your best opportunity to actually beat us. Your full squad was there, and you couldn't even. I can't remember a clear-cut chance that you actually had. I thought Solanke was, out of all your attackers, although he wasn't good, I thought he was better than Son. But I think we need to have a discussion now. Well, I think we need to have a discussion. I'm very confused by this tactical change that he does almost every game. Why does he keep subbing Maddison? And I'm really intrigued to hear what Ian has to say, because he's, I would say, the most level-headed here. Why does he keep subbing Maddison continuously when he is your only creative outlet?
Because he's not creating it.
Yeah, come on, Ian.
Okay. Why do you keep subbing Maddison? Oh, I think two things. I think number one, Maddison isn't showing the form that he showed first 10 games of last season. Him and Sonny were playing very, very well together. But he's got less room. I don't know why, but he's got less room, but he's dropping deeper. And Maddison's far better playing off the strikers rather than having to come deep. You know, that's what Arsenal and every other opposition team wants. They want to see creative players as far away from their penalty areas as possible.
Yeah.
He's not quite on his game. It's unfair to pick on Maddison because there aren't too many players who have played well this season at all in the first 4 games. I feel very sorry for Solanke. He must be looking around him and thinking about the service that he had at little old Bournemouth, and he's looking at the service that he's getting.
That's true.
From our players.
But Ian, he had a chance. He's a striker shoot in the first half. He lets Gabriel come. Literally, he had like maybe 4 seconds.
Yeah, okay. It took forever to shoot. It took forever to shoot.
All right,
if that was Kane, he'd just spun and put that in the net. If that would have been Kane.
I was listening to Saba on the stream. They were like, "Yo, shoot!" Like he had the chance.
I know exactly what you're talking about. You should have hit it first time.
I don't feel bad.
Hang on 1 second. Hang on 1 second. Are we that? Is it that, you know, everything's instant these days with life? But are we going to judge a player because he made, you know, because he didn't hit the ball first time and he took an extra second and Gabriel got back?
Yeah.
Come on,
it cost you a game, we paid £65 million for him, Ian. What we got to expect something.
Listen, firstly, it was 57. Secondly, it wasn't down to him what the club paid, and thirdly, so okay, every player makes a mistake. Every player doesn't do everything perfectly.
Solanke, man.
Okay,
we've gone from Harry Kane to Solanke.
That
ring alarm bells.
The problem is that Kane was so good that nobody coming in. It's like someone following Alex Ferguson as manager for United. They've got no chance.
Yeah, but Ian, we spent £130 million on Richarlison and Solanke combined. The money was there. We've misspent it, surely.
Ian, can I ask you a question? Do you not think it's about time though that as a football club we stop mentioning Harry Kane? Because here's a key thing. I was having a conversation the other night. I was having a curry with some mates, and they said to me, all of these excuses about, but we haven't replaced Harry Kane. And Harry Kane, Ange Postecoglou never managed with Harry Kane. So this isn't like it was a manager that had Kane and now had to find a new way of playing.
Okay.
Ange Postecoglou never had Kane. I'm not talking about
Saba, let me answer you. If this was a proper club run by people at the top, who were desperate for success, they would have a succession plan in place for when Kane's leaving.
Of course.
The guy's a year off the end of his contract.
Yep.
He's never going to sign. Lewis is never going to lose 100 million or 100 million euros, whatever it was, 85 million. most football chairmen would not allow Kane to run down his contract. He's one of the best players in the world. They're going to maximise and then they're going to buy. Had we had a proper succession plan in place, what would I have done personally? You take the 85 million for Kane, you take another 15, 20, 25 million, whatever it takes, and you go and buy Isak from Newcastle. And that's what you do. And you buy a top centre forward. He is a top centre forward, Isak. And if we were a serious club, we'd have gone and offered Newcastle the money.
Newcastle would have told us where to go. And why would he leave Newcastle?
Let me respond to it, Dan. Hang on. We're conflating two arguments here. Whether or not Spurs should have had a succession plan and whether or not Ange can have the excuse of, he lost Harry Kane are two very different things. First and foremost, I hate to break this to you. Alexander Isak, one, we're not a bigger club at the moment than Newcastle, whatever we want to think. And two, if Alexander Isak's going to leave Newcastle United, it's not going to be for Tottenham Hotspur. I can assure you of that right now.
I'm sure it's not. But do you know what? It would have shown ambition, wouldn't it?
Sure,
but it wouldn't happen.
But the problem is this, though. Go back to my first comment. Ange never had Kane. So when Ange came to this football club, and Ange said this himself, he said in day one, the chat he had with Kane was that Kane was leaving the club, right?
Okay, Sam. Okay, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you one question.
Hang on, can I
go on?
So if Ange knew he didn't have Harry Kane, he's got all summer to go to the club and say, this is the type of centre forward I need. Now, whether or not we want to say it's a Gyökeres or an Isak, he's got all summer to say, we're getting money for Kane. I need to buy some players. He has gone and bought Brennan Johnson, Valise, Solomon. Then in his next window, he's bought Timo Werner. Then in the window after that, he's bought Werner again, Odegaard and Solanke. Now, before you say anything, Solanke, when we signed him, 90% of this fan base turned around and said, perfect Ange signing. He suits Ange's style brilliantly. He's a pressing forward. No one actually stopped to think, hang on, the way Bournemouth got the best out of Solanke is very different to the way Tottenham Hotspur play football.
Yeah.
No one puts 10 men behind the ball against Bournemouth. Yeah. So Solanke's got space to run into. What we've seen already against Leicester City, what was Leicester he played and today, when he's got no space, he's not very good with the ball at his feet. When he's got no space, he's not that 65 million pounds, 57 million pound striker that can bring it, that can bring the ball down and bring others into the game. So all those people that said, this is a great signing, who you're getting is better, now they're saying, but, we wanted this player.
Salah, okay, no trophies in 16 years. We're way down the list in terms of the best players. Who do you think we could get to come to Spurs? Seriously, who would you have gone and bought?
Ivan Toney.
Ivan
Toney.
Why do you think? Hang on. Listen, I'm not decrying. I'm not talking about Tony's ability here. That's unquestioned.
You asked who we would sign. I gave you an answer.
Why did none of the clubs go for Tony? Why has he gone to Saudi?
Because he wanted so much wages in the end, as far as I know.
Why did no English clubs go for Mickey van der Ven? Why did
Chelsea
no English
went
clubs go for Mickey van der Ven?
Chelsea went for him.
Why has nobody ever gone for Son? Why has no one ever gone for Son?
Yeah, why has no one tried to buy Son?
Ever.
Is he no good? We can do this. You can do this argument every time.
No.
The problem is we've got scouts. We've got scouts, Ian, and Ange has never, ever, ever in his career had a player as good as Harry Kane. So how's he managed to do it at all these other clubs? Why did he not say, go and get me Kyogo? I know Kyogo. Go and get me this guy. Instead, he wants Brennan Johnson, Odegaard, Werner, Valise, Solomon.
They're all low wages, Sava. They're all low wage players. We've signed players on low wages. So why is going? See, what to me, it's clear what's going on at Spurs. It's the same thing every year. We've got a board that wants players signed on a certain criteria. That criteria doesn't meet the requirements of winning trophies, but yet we've got managers that come in and accept it. Ange did the worst thing this guy ever was to say, "I've been backed," because now it's all on him.
Yeah.
And what he's doing to make it even worse is when fans are upset, when fans are angry, when fans are beginning to question it, he comes out with, "I always win trophies." Man, he's losing it. He's beginning to lose it, man. He's not reading the room, and I think. Do you know what? I just think the club and this league is just that one step too big for him because he hasn't got the balls to turn around to the board and say, these kind of play. We just had the Arsenal fans talking about how big and strong their squad is. Antonio Conte told us, you need to buy 2 or 3 60, 70 million pound players per year, meaning quality, and you need a physical type of player for this league. He told us everything, but we don't want to believe it. Instead, Ange is here, vibes, feelings, possession football. It's great. It's not great. It's troublesome.
Stelios, maybe today is a wrong day to say it, right? But Brian Hill at Girona, he's doing really well there, right? But Premier League is a different gravy. You cannot buy players who are 1.70 m and built like a twig, right? You have to buy physical players. Unless there is supreme talent, right? Because like Bernardo Silva,
like Fabregas, Santi Cazorla, Silva, quality, absolute class.
But
I agree.
Quality, right?
Yeah.
So the way
not Solomon
not without a reason I brought the point of physicality, right? But because Arsenal today, for me, their clear plan was to not go out of their half unless they have the ball, long ball to Havertz, ping it to the wings, try to fight for a corner or a counter, right? The issue is, in that case, we have to either shoot from distance or cross balls in, right? We were physically dominated today. There was no one in our team who could take a header. No one today, right? Solanke, fair enough, he's big enough, he's strong enough to fight Gabriel and Saliba, but he was 1-on-2. Never winning headers, right? Because the two of them took care of him, right? My issue is, I don't think we planned realistically for what this league requires you to do to win things, right? I don't think it's again the lack of planning for me, right? And I don't want to sit here and try to argue with people that the transfer window was good, because it wasn't, right? And I know none of you will argue with me, and most of the chat won't, right? But unfortunately, we didn't do enough. We didn't bring quality players of required physical attributes and required technical level for this system, for this league. And this is the result, right? We all knew how.
But our manager disagrees with you publicly, Michael. Yeah. This is the problem. He disagrees with what you're saying publicly.
But I said it, right? I said it. I know it. Right?
But our fans listen to the manager.
The issue is he came out and publicly said, every player that comes through the door comes through me, and every player. And I was back. Sorry, I was making a point. I was back, and every player that comes through the door comes through me, right? This is the issue. Fans, listen, this is the manager. Fans have the right to listen to the manager and base their opinion on this, right? But unfortunately, it's not what we needed, in my opinion. And I don't know.
We go and buy Archie Grays. And Ian, I've had this debate with you enough times, and Adrian, and you two do both claim that he's going to be good. He should be in that first team. You've both claimed it and that. But
do you know what, Dan?
He's good enough to be in that first team, Ian. Why is Ange not bringing him on? Why was Ange stupid enough to go and say, I'm happy with a 40 million deal for a boy that has never even played top football, that has never even played in a big league in the top notch? Yet a majority of the fans were going, oh yes, we've signed the next Messi and that, and he's going to come on and smash it, and he'll take that place as well. Where's he been?
Well, you've got to ask Ange. Ange isn't particularly covering himself in glory with his decisions, is he, Dan? How many good decisions has Ange made? Seriously.
But you bigged up Gray, and so did Adrian.
Absolutely. Let's put Gray in now, because he is a proper 6. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But the kid's got to have a chance. Because I've got to tell you something. The players that have played there, It's literally since Chelsea.
Ian,
utter shite.
Ian, what you're saying is half true, okay? In the sense that he should be given a chance because it's a shit show right now. He should be given a chance to prove that he can do better. I agree. But to say, for us to put him on a pedestal that he's the answer.
No one's putting him on a pedestal, but
you are.
Ian, I will send you YouTube videos of people saying Spurs' youth are frightening. Oh my God, look what they're building. And there's a lot of our fan base.
Would you guys chuck him in now into a really poorly performing team? And we're saying that we're just going to
hang on, Sabah.
I see your point. It could drown him. I see your point. It could drown him. But at the same time, Spurs need to justify the money they've spent on him. Play football.
I agree. So, but at the moment, he's not even. At the moment, he's behind Sarr, Bentancur, Basuma.
He's like fourth choice. Yeah, I know.
Fourth, he's sixth choice. He's seventh choice central midfielder at the moment.
How ridiculous is that? How nonsensical is that with the rubbish that those players are serving up?
But what has Gray done?
Can I just say something? Can the main event say something? Sorry, I hear something. I hear this. And I say, I told you so. I told you so. Yeah. Because the main event needs to say something right now. Because when I hear this, right? What was I been told? What was I called when I said we're going over the top of Archie Gray and Burval? Yeah. And what was said at the beginning of the season? Yeah, when we said we needed a midfielder, general in that midfield, we said, no, Archie Gray and Burva are looking good. They're looking good. We don't need a midfielder. We don't need a midfielder.
Sorry, who said that?
Look, we heard it from the manager. We've heard it from the manager, and we've heard it from ITKs as well. Yeah, I can bring it all up because it was said. It was said we don't need a midfielder because we were very impressed with Archie Gray and Burval. So since that day, right, because they said it was good enough for the squad, I said, okay, cool. I've heard it from Sava, I've heard it from Stelios, I've even heard it from Kuva, and I've heard it from Dan. They said, okay, then, that's cool. Okay, you put them in then. Yeah, there's none of this saying about they're young. It's none of this saying this. Yeah, because if you're good enough for the squad, you know backups, because you don't do backups anymore, because Mr. Box Office doesn't do backups anymore. Yeah, because if you want backups, I want Højbjerg back in my team right now. Yeah, who's better than our midfielders right now? Yeah, and that's all I need to say, and that's it.
Complaining about?
Bro, you hear what I'm saying? I'm not complaining. How are you telling me I'm complaining? I'm talking truth, bruv. I'm talking truth. Because the truth is right now, bro. Look at your ITKs. It's already said already. They said they were very impressed with Archie Gray and Burval during training.
Correct, that's right.
So they said that they're good enough. So if they're good enough, you put them in. You put them in.
Who's they? I would put them in. Personally, I would put them in.
So we don't complain. We can't complain anymore. Because if they were not good enough, you ship him off on loan, because this is what the top teams do. They ship them off on loan, right? Give them experience for another year. Right? They could have put him back to Leeds, yeah, and got a proper midfielder.
Hang on. Who says they haven't even been given a chance yet? Who says
bro, it's not the chase. Ian, right? If they're good enough, they can take it. I'm sorry. If we're a top club, they can take it.
Correct.
It's not,
he won't play them, though. He doesn't play the kids.
What's that? So why put them in the first place then? That's the point.
Alex, you're arguing against yourself, mate. Ian hasn't said any of that.
I'm not arguing myself, man. Listen to the main event, for goodness sake.
Ian is not arguing with you. I'm not talking. Just so you know. Just so you know.
Alex, nobody here disagrees with you.
I think everyone agrees. Everyone. Do you know what? See, the tragedy is.
Michael, I'm not shouting, bruv. I'm talking passion, bruv. Stop going on, bruv. For goodness sake. Get over yourself. You don't know the main event already, bruv. You need to go. You need to get to know, and that's it. Back to you, Stella. Sorry to interrupt you. Bloody hell.
Listen, it's Tottenham away. It's Tottenham away. Do what you got to do. This is what our channel's about, right? I just feel what's the saddest thing of all is the majority voice in the Spurs community says all the wrong things, and that's what gets heard. And then the voices that say things like, are you sure about these tactics? Can you tell me why these signings make sense and how we're going to justify that they're good? And when we say things like, we look a bit dodgy defensively. And when we say things like we haven't replaced Dembele, we haven't replaced Eriksen, we haven't replaced... When we say these things, we're vilified. It's almost like we're the devil's work. And as it begins to unravel, where does that leave us as a fan base? We end up having these rows and arguments. But there's some of us that tried to say this, and we say it every year with every manager.
Stelios, I told you.
If you look at the clubs around us, right? If you look at the clubs around us who strengthened, whether or not it was one signing or three signings, whatever, who decided that they were going to bring in two 18-year-old midfielders? Who?
Sava, I lost it when we re-signed Werner. I lost it when we re-signed Werner.
No, but that's not what I'm asking. My point is, you look at the teams around us. Arsenal decided that they need some more midfield guile, or whatever you want to call it. They go and buy Mikel Merino now. Whatever you think of him, he's an experienced Spanish international that's been playing Champions League football for Real Sociedad, right? Aston Villa go and buy, whatever you think of him, they go and buy Belgium international Onana, right? Grown men, right? Newcastle, the last couple of midfielders they've bought have been Tonali, Guimaraes, right? You look at Spurs. Spurs go and buy Gray and Bergvall. Our fans lap it up. And now we're talking about put them in to a team that is not performing. These boys will be swallowed up. We're talking about the engine room of a football team. And from what I saw of Archie Gray in pre-season, that boy is nowhere near ready to be playing.
He got swallowed by Bayern Munich. Absolutely.
But Sava, the problem is we didn't get anybody else in. That's the problem. We were all hyping them up.
Alex, I want to know what.
The point is, no one around us was signing kids to solve a problem.
That's I agree with you.
Kids, right? And then, hang on, we've gone and signed kids, and now all of a sudden, for some reason, we think that these kids are going to be better than Bentancur, better than Basuma, better than Madison.
Sava, very simple answer for that. Very simple answer. Number one, you're talking about other football clubs. Tottenham is run completely differently to every other club. Tottenham is run for the benefit of the owners' pockets. Other clubs mix it a bit. You can't run a club like a fan, but you can't run a club totally like an accountant, which is what Tottenham do. So it was all about, Spurs was all about bringing the wage bill down. I think Paul O'Keefe alluded to this in May. And I was hearing it from other people through the summer. It was all about bringing the wage bill down, bringing the books, trying to improve the books. They're looking for investment. They need money to they need to get money in for a hotel. So the books have got to be strong. That's more important than the first team. There's your answer why we let go. We let go 4 players. That's not
the point. Hang on. You're giving me a history lesson. That wasn't the point I was making.
It's not a history lesson. That's fact. We let go 4 experienced players and we bought 1. So obviously, it's a problem. You agree?
I agree. But my point is, and just quickly to rebuttal Josh Wigan in the chat who has said United, Mainu, Diallo. Yeah, they came from the youth team. They didn't buy them, right? Chelsea, Palmer. Yeah, Palmer 1 isn't a central midfielder. Palmer's not in the engine room of Chelsea, and Palmer came through at Man City, and I think everyone realised how sensational this kid was. There's a huge difference. Tottenham needed central midfielders. We went out and bought Bergvall and Gray. Now we've got people, no offence here, like you going, chuck them in. Chuck in Bergvall and Gray into a team that can't win games of football.
Who have never ever played in a big league. I asked the big question to everyone, and to about I can count about 15, maybe even 20 people now. And the only one who's given me the other answer on it is you, Ian, and Adrian. And the question is, we got 10 minutes to go. We're in the Champions League semi-final, example, we're 1-0 up. Who would you bring? And we need to defend to get this game, come love nor money. Who would you stick on there, Højbjerg or Gray? You and Adrian are the only 2 that have said Gray. And then I put it different. I put it different to you 2. I said if you had £1 million bet on it, you still said you'd bring on Gray, even though he's never ever played in a big league.
If you're playing against
It makes no
opposition in a
sense.
Champions League semi-final or final, then those are top players, and Højbjerg is nowhere near that. Gray,
So you
I
bring
don't
on.
know.
So you bring on Gray.
That's not what he asked.
That's not what I asked.
I would rather have Gray. I think long term also he is going to be far better than Højbjerg.
Long term, maybe,
would ever
but
be.
I'm talking about now.
That's exactly why I said I wanted Højbjerg back in my team. Exactly why I said it. And now people are saying what I'm saying.
Can I bring Maz in? Let me bring Maz in because he hasn't spoken. I just want to do 2 quick super chats. Bertie Hotspur says, totally agree, Stel, and that's the main problem. This was a reference to something earlier on. Bertie Hotspur, big up as always. The Spurs analyst who was on our show on Wednesday says, big up the panel. I'm feeling delusion. Angie's time's running out. Levy out. I'm sick of this club. I've had enough. I think a lot of us do. Guys, we've got 1,300 watching. Honestly, thank you so much. Like, subscribe. Make sure you follow Savage channel, Football Heritage TV. Dan, the Hotspur Hood, make sure you follow him as well. Box Office Professor, you've got to follow him as well. Thank you, guys. Maz, and then I want to come back to Spiro because Spiro hasn't spoken in a while. And Mari as well. Got to get Mari back in. Maz, you felt the need to come on. Why?
Well, no, I felt the need to. Well, I don't know why I've come on, to be honest with you. I'm going to end up repeating what I've said about a million times before in the past. I think a lot of the fan base need to level with themselves in terms of how they view football and how they view players. Because there's a lot of dishonesty happening, and I don't think it's malicious dishonesty. I just think it's part of human nature. So when people say Archie Gray is great and he should be in our team, I mean, there was a gentleman that went on We Are Tottenham's TV's post-match roundup with Sim and Ben, and he said, I think Archie Gray is our best player. And look, I don't watch the most amount of football. I try and watch as much as I can. In terms of, I'm older now, so I don't keep tabs on every single player in every single league, and I'm definitely not as well informed as I used to be. So when I see a player coming in and they have promising attributes and good reports, you have to judge them based on what they then do in the team, rather than just going off reputation and journalists' articles about how good they were when they were young kids and stuff like that. You can't read those articles and say, right, I know that this player is going to be brilliant because he was brilliant in the under 21s or under 19s or under in this league and that league, etc., because the reason why you can't do that is because we have history telling us that genuinely doesn't really work all the time. For example, if we go off the reports of how good Rodon was, then that will disprove that Archie Gray potentially is not going to be as good as what everyone says it is. And there's millions of other players we can go through that have had the same outcome. So a lot of fans at Spurs are desperate for these young kids to be superstars, to be the next Bale, to be the next Ledley King coming through, to be the next Danny Rose, to be the next Walker. But we have no evidence to tell us that there will be that. But people are projecting their hope and dreams onto these players, right? And effectively lying to themselves about it.
Exactly.
Yeah, but we ain't got a choice, mate, because that's what we bought.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the thing, right? And then fans are then projecting the way the club operates into this idealistic fashion, and they start looking at things like, oh, look how great our stadium is, oh, look how much money we're bringing in per game, all right, and trying to then project their hopes and dreams onto the club, and that's not what the evidence is showing us, and that's not how we act, and that's not how we behave. So I just think fans really need to take a step back and have hopes and dreams, of course, but look at the history, look at how we operate now, and make a decision. Don't just make a decision based on your heart. You've got to use your head. Now, in reference to me coming on, I think the biggest problem that we have now, and this is played out exactly as what I said last season. I've called it, and I'm going to say I told you so 1,000 times over, right? Ange is culpable for the mess we're in because he's come in, right, off the back of two of the best managers in world football, right? And he had an opportunity to reset everyone's expectation, right? Start his own project. We're a club, a wounded animal when Conte left, or absolutely wounded because of that 20-minute speech that he made, or 10-minute speech, right? And he could have come in and said, I'm a winner, but I need to build an ethos. I need to build a team. I need to do X, Y, Z, right? But what he came in and done is he built everyone up, right? Said, I'm a winner. This is who we are, mate. Right? So we're up here. And what's happened is reality's kicked in when we're down here. That, in any walk of life, in terms of business, professional sport, is not how you manage people's expectations or build a winning team, right? And he's done what I would say a novice move, and that's probably why this is his first ever big job at such a late age. That's how I feel at the moment. So Daniel Levy needs to fix this. He needs to bring in a manager that is actually good and knows how to manage people's expectations.
Maz, hold on a minute. We've just spent £365 million. If he brings in a manager that is of the levels, and the manager turns around to the board and says, I need to get rid of 15 players here, we're absolutely in the shit again. And our fans are going to tolerate that. They shouldn't. Fans shouldn't tolerate this anyway. But we're in a deeper hole again, aren't we?
Well, but then the club have to look at themselves and say right, what was our strategy and what was our plan in place for us to make this type of investment? What made the club believe that signing these young players and these other players around was going to elevate Tottenham Hotspur as a football club?
It's a business. Levy bought them for future revenue. He wants the resale value.
No, we know that, Spiros. We understand that. But what I mean is they've cycled through 17, 18 players, right, in a year and a half with Ange, right? And now the project's on its knees already, right?
Maz,
so,
do you know what I think?
So what Spiros is saying is, yeah.
Do you know what I think the problem is? Yeah.
Let me just finish though,
yeah,
right?
Go on.
Now, and we're in a position now where the managers, the club is in a position whereby they've made such a big investment in Ange, right, that they've almost got nowhere else to go. And the only way they can fix it is getting rid of Ange and bringing in another manager that can work with these crop of players, rather than bringing in a Jose or Conte. Well, they are.
But half these players are shit.
but Sava said a good point, is that, and that it's the tactics, right? It's the manager that's causing this. I don't think it's the individual players per se.
Both, isn't it?
I think we can get
It's
more
tactics
out
and quality. It's a bit
of both.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A proper manager.
Tactics.
A proper
It's
manager
tactics.
sorts this out. A proper manager. I'm not saying wins anything, but a proper manager.
Agreed. Yeah.
Look at Thomas Frank. Pound for pound, look at how well that manager does every year with the players available to him at Brentford. Right? Yeah. His team are organised. They're hard to beat. Right? They always give the likes of Man City a good game. Really well done. How Fulham with Silva. How do these managers with players that our fans would look at and go, I don't want them anywhere near Spurs? How do these managers get the best out of these clubs? Because they play to their strengths. They know what they are and what they're not. And everybody plays sensibly. Right? Look at that Newcastle 11 today. Newcastle are second or third in the league right now. Look at that Newcastle 11 today. If I had said to you, Dan Burn, Fabian Schär, Lewis Hall, who's
Jacob
the
Murphy.
winger? Longstaff, the winger, Murphy. If I had said to you, Harvey Barnes, if I had said all of those names, everyone would go, none of them would get in the Spurs 11. But you know what? Eddie Howe's a coach. Eddie Howe has worked out, hang on, we're not going to be a free-flowing football team that have 70% possession on the ball. But you know what we are good at? We're tough in midfield. We're quite organised at the back. And I've got wingers that can fly forward and act like wingers. We've got a manager that's gone the complete other way and thinks we can be Man City. We can have 70% of the ball. And you know why he does that? Because 90% of this fan base is sitting making videos online praising field tilt. Praising.
What is that?
Praising pressure.
No one knows.
Praising chances created. Praising possession. Again, today, people going, oh, we bossed Arsenal. Did we? I saw it that Arteta realised, hang on, give them the ball. Let them have the ball. We're not worried about them.
I was at the game, mate. They were waiting. They were purring. They were purring. Because as soon as you could see it from a mile off. You could see it from a mile off.
The manager. I'm not talking about one that can't. It doesn't have to be a Jose or a Conte, but we've gone from complete win now managers that want 70, 80 million pound footballers because that's what they're used to and they win, to a manager that has completely ignored the basics of football, but he's bamboozled the fan base into believing that we are even today, let me read you this quote from Ange Postecoglou, right? This is mind-blowing, by the way. This is absolutely mind-blowing. Ange Postecoglou said, what is it? We are closer to closing the gap with the big clubs if we just keep doing what we believe in. We've beaten one top 10 team in 10 months. What gap is this guy like? But he's got everybody believing it. And those fans now, all of these fans, I'm starting to see today, fans that I've seen make videos about me, that have made videos about Stel, right? They're on their channels now going, as we thought they would. I'm not Ange out, but right? And it's like, the penny's dropped.
Oh, we were fucking right.
The penny has dropped now that this manager hasn't got a clue, doesn't know what to do, can't make good substitutions. And you know what? To Ian's point, if you're going to put in Bergvall and Gray, put them in. If you're going to put them in, leave them in, leave Odegaard in the team, leave Mikey Moore in the team, sell Son, sell Ben Davis, sell Madison. If that's what we truly want to do, sell these older players and play these kids, and we all shut up and go, right, this is a youth project.
And Stelios will tell you, before the show started, I was telling him, I'm on X, the same people that will call us negative, Sava's negative, Stel's negative, Dan is negative, Alvin Way's negative, are the same people.
Maz is negative too, by the way. So
Mr. Bots office as well, because I was the one that said it from the very get-go, by the way.
We're proud to be negative. We're proud.
They sounded negative. And I'm like, oh, you started to see the light. The one thing I want to say about these players that we inherited. Remember, we've just now inherited new Deadwood. So even when if we get rid of Ange, we're stuck with Solanke and we're stuck with Brendan Johnson, right? Timo could go because he's alone, but we're stuck with Solanke. We're stuck with Johnson and some other place that we. So we inherited new Deadwood.
Murray, do you know what needed to happen at this club, right? When I went to the Spurs Academy and I knew about the kids not playing for this club this season, and I spoke to the academy director, he told me this. No matter what happens with Ange, whether he's sacked, whether he does well, then moves on, whether a bigger club comes and takes him because he's done so well, from the boardroom level, they've told him, keep doing what you're doing with the academy, because we are going to bring in a manager just like Ange, or that philosophy, possession-based football, play out from the back. So there's continuity, and it's not from Nuno to Conte to Stellini to Poch to. There's going to be a way we want to do it, and that will benefit the academy. Okay, so when I heard him say that, doesn't it make sense then for the club to come out and say, this is what we're going to do, which we're only going to sign managers that suit a philosophy we're going to build for the club. It's already being installed in the academy, so that should begin to filter over the next 3, 4, 5, 10 years. But whilst we're going through this process, we need your patience so that we can, in 3, 4 years' time, deliver what we believe will be a truly Premier League contending side. We're going to bring through the youngsters. We're going to take some hits along the way. We're going to lose some games whilst they develop and become men in men's football. And we're going to sign 2 or 3 players a year of a high level that complements these youngsters, elevates the first team, and the players the manager doesn't want, that he's inherited, over the next 2-3 years, we'll phase them out. So we're going to go through a transition, explain it to the fans, get them on board, and bring in the youngsters, and we will tolerate it. Instead, what have we fucking done? It's who we are, mate. We're winning the league in the second year, mate. Every game we lose, we can still challenge for the title, he says. We can still challenge for the title.
It's that managing expectations,
Levy's quiet.
though, isn't it?
Levy's quiet. Mun's quiet.
But, yeah.
Lange only pops up when it suits the club. Donna Cullen's quiet. Nothing from the board. It's all on the manager to speak. He's making a mess of it. And all these youngsters we've signed, none of them are playing. Even the ones we spent big money on aren't playing. And it just looks like a mess again. It just looks like a mess again.
Basic stuff, right?
Because there's no communication. Because I don't think there's a plan, guys. I don't think there's a plan.
But this is what, as I said, this is exactly what I said from the beginning, though. This is exactly what I said from the beginning. By the way, Ian, big up to you, bro. It's just me frustrated because I've been at the stadium
that's fine.
today.
Listen,
you know what I mean? Big up to you, brother, by the
we
way.
all want, I've got to tell you, we're all as passionate about Spurs as each other. And we all want, we're desperate for success, and you know, we're micro analyzing absolutely everything. We just want what is best for the club. But the problem you've got is that in any business, the mentality comes from the top. And if you've got people at the top that are desperate for success, they'll put a plan in, they'll put a strategy in. If that plan or strategy isn't working, they'll sit down, they'll re-look at it. With our owners, it's just about profit. That's all it is. It's just about making money. And
Ian, to go off the back of that, to go off the back of that, and fit it into Stel's point, is that what our club, our football directors haven't done is got a project, effectively gone to the fan base with their business idea, right, and put the use case forward, right, the business case forward, right, and said to the fans, this is what we're going to do. It's going to take 5 years, right, and this is how we're going to do it. At that point, you're going to get you're going to your customer base and getting the buy-in. They never do that. They don't get buy-in from anyone, right? And they don't manage expectations.
The club don't talk to the fans. They never did. Look at Maz. Look at Wembley. Look at Wembley. That dragged on and on and on. We didn't hear anything from the club for ages.
Yeah,
there was no communication.
And this is why a major reason why the fan base is so volatile, right, with managers, because no one knows what our end goal is, right? We obviously know from the way we operate and our histories, it's clearly not to win trophies, right? So we're effectively just wandering, right? Well, you know, we're just literally like gypsies wandering from area to area, right? What you know, with people just going in all different directions with all these different opinions.
What did I say? What did I say about the Arsenal example? What did I say about the Arsenal example? Since June 2023, I've been saying this, banging on about this since June 2023. I said I need to see my board hold their nerve and stick with our man. And right now, I'm seeing exactly what I said back in June when everyone was saying to me, I was an idiot, I was this, I'm that. Why are you not backing him? Why are you not doing research on him? Why are you not doing this? Why are you not doing that? And I said, wait and see. And Alex, now I'm seeing what I've told everyone back then.
it's not about just sticking with your man. It's about setting out a vision and a plan.
That's exactly what I've been saying.
Right? Yeah. Right. And then executing it. Right. And then if you do get rid of the manager, you know that the plan is still there, and they're just going to bring someone else in to fit into that vision. That's what Chelsea done really well. Right. Everyone knew Abramovich was going to spend whatever it took, bring in the best players, and he's just going to get the manager in, parachute them in, and they're just going to carry on winning. Right. And the whole club knew what they had to do. At Spurs, no one knows what we have to do, right? And the club will never commit to anything because they're scared to commit to anything because they don't want to commit. You know, as an example, we're going to win the league and all the money that it will take for us to try and achieve that. So it's just
Maz, do you think
this club?
Maz, do you think, right? My theory on Daniel Levy is what he got from Redknapp and what he got from Poch was very unexpected, right?
Yeah.
Let's be fair. Redknapp came in and done absolute wonders. He took this club from, all right, a false bottom position, but in 18 months, he took us to top 4. We had brilliant nights at the Lane, didn't we? Watching, Inter Milan and who was it, FC20 and whoever. Brilliant run that was ended by Real Madrid in the end. And what Redknapp did was brilliant. Then what Poch did on a relatively low budget of picking up a team of misfits and getting them to finals, to a Champions League final, second in the league. I think that Daniel Levy is now forever searching for that formula. Buy them young, buy in some hopefuls and hope that they come good like that. The problem with that is this. Everybody keeps talking about when the team clicks. Yeah. You guys can't see what Ange is doing, right? The Spurs are going on an upward trajectory. Do you know in the last 32 league games, which is basically a season, do you know what our average league position is? If we took those 32 games alone, do you know what it is?
It's got to be mid-table.
Ninth, isn't it?
10th?
Ninth.
Must be mid-table below.
Probably about 12th, I would have thought.
Ian's bang on. The game today, if we roll it, makes it 12th. So this guy, in nearly a whole season...
Well, that's where we are in the league. We're 13th.
We're sitting 12th, right? Now, it's funny. We're actually 13th tonight still. I mean, it's not even as good as 12th. But this is what I mean. Everyone keeps saying that we're going in the right direction. And the style of play is getting better and the pressing's getting better. The results on the pitch aren't getting better. This man has said, for me, Maz, this guy has said so many different things that I don't actually know what to believe of him anymore. And the problem is, so much of the fan base is sold on it. We're sold on it to the point, right, where I can turn around to someone and go, do you know from our last 32 games, we've got 44 points. And people go, oh, well, just concentrate on this season. All right, then. Do you know this season's the worst start we've had in the league for 9 years? Oh, but we,
Sav, would you not agree?
It's got to take time.
Would you not agree? I mean, we're averaging 68% possession across the 4 games.
Mm-hmm.
Would you not agree when you look at that? I mean, we watched games last season where we got battered. We had Brighton, we had Liverpool, we had Fulham. I mean, we got absolutely battered. This season, we are dominating games.
We're not.
And we're
not.
Hang on, stop.
Let him finish, guys. Let him finish.
Let me finish.
Go on.
In terms of having the ball and attacking, we are dominating games. 68% says that you are dominating a game, but we're doing nothing with it. There's no cutting edge, nothing. And that is the problem. And because of that also, every mistake we're suffering on, every single mistake. We've let in 4 goals in 4 games. I mean, averaging 1 a game. Last year, we're averaging 1.5, 1.6.
Ian, hang on. This possession stat, though,
it's pointless unless you score.
No, but not even that. Stella and I had this conversation the other day. I don't know if you remember, Stella, because we have quite a lot of conversations. Spurs fans think that we're dominating games because of possession. I think it's the complete opposite. I think the managers of the opposition team are going,
They're letting us do it.
Let Tottenham have the football.
Yes.
Because you know what?
Yeah, I said that, Sava, didn't I? When I first came on your show.
With it, Ian. But
as you said that ages ago,
Ian, fans, like you've just said it, going, well, compared to last year, we're dominating. Teams have learned, let them have the ball. Let them have the football.
It's a false eye, isn't it?
Can I set the stats straight on this? Because I did a statistical comparison show yesterday, and I was looking at something today. I want to set the record straight on this. When it comes to possession, Spurs are number one, or maybe now second in the league, but we're one of the top sides, if not the best team at keeping possession. In terms of turnovers high up the pitch, we're the best in the league. No one turns over the ball higher up the pitch more than Tottenham. So in terms of possession and turning the ball high up, we're the best. Clear-cut chances created from that were shocking. Again today, 0 clear-cut. The best chance today, if we're going to look at how the stats are measured, was Martinelli's one-on-one with the goalie that Vicario saved. Martinelli fluffed that. That was the best one-on-one chance, clear-cut of the day created. So what's happening is, for all the possession and all the high press and all the turnover, we're creating very low-grade efforts. Whereas the opposition team, they might only get 1 or 2, maybe 3 chances, but they're of such high quality that they're ending up in the back of the net. Agreed. This is the problem. This is the problem with the way it's very high risk, high reward. And at the moment, it's all the high risk is what's standing out more than the high reward because we're not getting the reward.
It's the other thing as well. It's
basically we've got no balance, guys. We're not a balanced team.
Yeah,
we're not.
And
because of that, we can't control the game.
It's a false view because people are thinking we are in domination because a lot of people, everyone's got their own opinion of football of what domination is, of what dominating a game is. For me, dominating a game isn't having the ball for 80%, 70% of the time and doing fuck all with it. It's doing something with it, even when you haven't necessarily got it. How quick you can close that other team down, how quick you can cut them out the game. And that's even when you haven't got the ball. But
we're actually very good at that though, Dan. That we're very good at, by the way.
I think, I agree. The other teams, Maz said this ages ago. I agreed with him. Sav has said it before. Others have said it before. The other team sussed us out after 10 games. Now, you look at what it went after that, and then halfway through the season, till now, till the next game and the game after, and as long as Angie's here, do you know what, boys? Yeah, get on with it. We know you can't do nothing up front. We know you can't even you struggle to break down a bottom 5 team, let alone a top 10 team. Don't worry about it. We know your manager can't change his tactics, let alone won't change his tactics, because I don't think he knows any other tactics. And we know that your manager won't even make subs, even if you're 3-0 down until you're 70 minutes gone. And get on with it, boys. We'll sit back and thank you. We know you're clear on the wings, down the wings, open, same goals every bloody game. It's the manager's tactics.
Dan, how many of them passes as well are across the back between Van der Ven and Romero? Van der Ven and Romero. It's like
exactly. I said this earlier.
These are false
today we had 88% of our passing. Yeah, Arsenal had something like 75 or 76. On stats, that makes us look like we're passing good, but it's Sava. If you're standing 3 foot next to me, and even whether I'm a professional player or not, I expect that ball to go to your bloody feet.
I will say though,
goes down as part of a good pass.
Dan, being at the staging though, Dan, I will say we do pass the ball okay from the fence to the midfield, but the problem is our attack. It just doesn't.
But
really
a lot
work
of the
for me.
Alex, are side to side.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I don't think it is just the attack, Alex. I think we blame the attack. I don't think it is just the attack.
I know that you know what I feel about the midfield. When I'm saying Højbjerg, I want Højbjerg back in my midfield. That says a lot to you, doesn't you? You know what I mean? But it's just like, for me, it's just the way that there's times when Arsenal are very defensive, right? And play like a Man United. You know the Man United side? Yeah, I've said this on my channel, Mr. Box Office TV. A new video, by the way. Go and watch it, right? But yeah, it's like, for me, right? You know what, Man United side that won the championships all the time with Alex Ferguson. They reminded me of the way that they played. You know what I mean? When Chelsea, with Mourinho. You know what I mean? And that's it for me. That's what reminded me of the way that Arsenal played today. But also, there's something I need to spot out, and I know Dan's not going to like this. But I didn't like Bentancur today. I didn't like Bentancur today. And the reason why I didn't like Bentancur, right, is that he didn't help Maddison, because I wanted Maddison to be more up the pitch, and I don't think he helped him at all, because Maddison was always coming deep, and that's the thing. And I did, and you can see whenever he's struggling, we know when we're struggling when Maddison's coming deep to get the ball, and that's when I was like,
Alex, I think it's a symptom.
Let's do a couple of super chats quickly.
Yeah,
let's do a couple of super chats because they've been building up, and then I want to get Spiro back in as well, and then I'll come to you, Maz. I'll come straight back to you. Dietrich Kane, big up. He says, "I want Tuchel with this squad." Faz says, "Can Ange win the league with the City squad?" Big up.
No.
I think the answer is probably no. And frankly, Tottenham says, "Play a 3-5-2. A lot of us said that. This way, some pairs up with Solanke." I agree with you on this. Poor and Udogie are really wing backs. Listen, I think most people agree with what you said there, frankly, Tottenham.
I'll tell you why I don't think that would work. I don't think that would work because of Ange. Because he doesn't know how to... He doesn't know how to make...
He'd probably have the three defenders sitting on the halfway line.
Yeah, exactly. or he'll do something daft. Like,
Michael. If I can make a point, because I've seen a lot of talking about the three at the back, right? I agree that this squad is the best suited for a three at the back system, but we cannot play three at the back with the amount of centre backs we have at the club. That's the point I've been making, and I stand by it, right? Even if we switch to a three at the back right now, right? One of the centre backs gets injured, we have to revert to a back four. So in my opinion, there is no point in like changing the system if you at first little stumble.
You've got Ben Davis there, you've got Dorrington there.
Dorrington is injured, isn't he?
Archie Gray. Archie
Gray apparently is a centre half. The one.
Michael, as an idea, go to a back three until one of them gets injured, then go back to the back two.
Buy some more centre halves.
Yeah, that's my point, right? I think if we had brain,
Ashley Phillips, bring him back from loan.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
he can't even get a scope team.
But even if we cancel the loan now, he only gets back January, right? Or does it?
Yeah,
work
but I think
what everyone says. Anyways, the point. My point is right that someone at the club should use their brain and figure out that the squad is best at three at the back at the beginning of the window, and we should have brought in more centre backs, right? That's my point. Because right now, I don't think the squad is suited. Because as soon as one gets injured, you have to revert back, right?
But that's for Ange to tell. But that's for Ange to tell the club what system.
I know, but
it's not for the club to decide. Oh, by the way,
he's right. He's right in the aspect of if we did do that now, the squad it isn't suited, but the first 11
that's my point, right?
It's perfect for it.
Yeah.
But I think the other thing everyone does say, Mike, is that the first 11 is blatantly suited for a 5-3-2.
That I completely agree.
Or 3-5-2 or 3-4-2-1. But what you're saying is the squad
3-5-2, whatever you want, right? Yeah.
People look at it different ways. With me, it's 5 at the back because I use them as wing backs. Other people say it's 3-4, whatever. Yeah. But we're all on the same level there. But the squad hasn't got the capability now to cover that, has it?
Well, I think I actually think the point I was going to make is I think that the players have lost faith in Ange and the tactics, and we thought that last year, didn't we, with them?
We did
because soon as we go down, their heads drop immediately, and then they're not improving since the first game of the season. They're getting worse. Ange says, "Oh yeah, we're doing things better, this, that, and the other." I can't see it. Maybe some of the stats say it is, but to the eye, it certainly doesn't look any better, and the results are proving that we're not really any better. So if you change the system, I don't think they believe in him. And I guess this is where I was going to go with it. And this is to still. I think when you implement a philosophy in a way of playing, the results need to come in almost immediately or go on an upward trajectory. Because if that doesn't happen, you lose faith in the process because you're not seeing the results, right? And you're not going anywhere. You're not seeing the end goal of or where you want to be, and because the players haven't seen that, they've lost faith in him, and I think his window of opportunity on that front is gone.
He's got 3 games, Maz. He's got 3 matches: Coventry away, Brentford at home, Qarabag at home. Now you would hope that we would get 3 results from those 3 wins, and then you go into a game against an inconsistent Man United team. on a high because you've won 3 games. If they don't win the 3 games, I don't know where you go from there.
Ian,
this is the problem.
But if we win those 3 games and then lose to Man United, we're going to be right back to square one.
1 minute. This is the problem, right? If after the who is it? We played Leicester, Everton. Right after the Everton game, we then said, right now it begins. And I remember we're doing a show on this. We've got Newcastle, Arsenal, Brentford, Man United, Brighton, West Ham, and we all went around the panel and we said, I can't remember who's on that show. I know Maz was on there, and we said, right, how many points are we getting out of something like 18?
Michael, the delusional one, thought we were going to get 8.
Michael said 8.
Hold on. I said we are going to lose to Newcastle and Arsenal. They didn't say 8. I said maybe 7. just to be correct.
The point here is, most of us actually said between 4 and 6 points. We didn't believe we were going to do well because of the way we saw us playing against Leicester and the fact Everton were pretty trash. And as it stands now, we're on course to be right on that. And if we are, we said if Ange comes out of that with only 4 to 6 points, we said he's finished. And he will be. Because Levy will pull the trigger. Because after 8 games, if we're only on roughly 10 points, he's done.
He's dusted.
And this is he's done. Spiro, I want to ask you something, right? I want to ask something because when I spoke to you after the game, I called you up. I was on the way back from the stadium. You were talking about Maddison, right? And Son. Maddison said this before the North London derby. We'll be looking to put a few wrongs there. Maddison says Spurs are hungry to get a good result in the North London derby for the fans. He said that whilst on the same day, our manager said, this isn't our biggest game. Every game should be a big game. And it came out as if he didn't understand what the North London derby meant to us. So you've got a manager saying, look, all games should be big. But if that's the case, don't ever make any rotation. Go with your best squad every single game because every game's big, right? But then Madders is saying, no, this means something. We know what it's about. What do you think about this? Because I'm seeing this a lot now. I'm seeing the manager saying one thing, players saying something different.
Still, you would expect...
Ian, can I get Spiro's answer?
Sorry,
and then I'll come to you.
John.
That's all right.
What are you asking still? What are you asking me? Go on.
Maddison, because we were talking about Maddison and Son after the game. Maddison before the game said that we want to fix. So we want to get. Let me read the exact quote. He said we'll be looking to put a few wrongs, wrongs there. I fixing what happened last season. He said we're hungry to get a good result in the North London derby. So he was bigging up the North London derby. He knows what it means to the fans. We're going to turn up for you. Whereas Andrew's saying, look, it's just another game.
Is he saying it's just another game, though? Is that really what?
Ange said that. He said like they're all big games, not just. We shouldn't treat the Arsenal North London derby as this massive game. They should all be big games. Whereas Maddison is saying we know what this means. We're hungry to win it for you lot.
Yeah, Maddison's got his point of view, bruv, at the end of the day, yeah. He's got what he's going to say. He knows what it means to the fans. I get that, yeah. Postecoglou, I think he knows what it means to the fans as well. He understands what it means, but he's just trying to play the game. He's like, listen, we have to have the mentality of we have to go into every game looking to win, not just focus on one game. I don't see much wrong with that, bruv, to be honest. I think he knows what it means. He's just saying, let's focus on every game and not just one game. That's what I understand.
Don't you think he misjudged it, Spiros? I mean, we're a team who are not winning things. We're in awful form. And a lot of the fan base he can see are starting. He's already mentioned that the fan base are doubting him. Don't you think with that one, he should have, with that one, it should have been, guys, we know more than anything how much this means to you. We're going to go out and do everything we can to win this North London derby. Then after that, we can talk about Coventry.
Yeah,
He's trying to play it down.
He's covering his back because he knows if he loses and he said that, it's going to look even worse for him, isn't it?
He talks a lot, though, Spiros, doesn't he? He says so many things that like somebody in the chat just said, oh, Maddison comes out and waffles a lot. I mean, doesn't Ange? We've had a history of this. Lloris used to do it every week. Dyer used to do it every week. Kane used to do it every week. Every time we lose, these guys come out, brave face. We know what we're doing. We're going to put things right. Everything's great. And then nothing's backed up. I just don't think he gets the club. I don't think he understands how important it is. I really don't. I think he's a PE teacher.
You know what it is? I think we're just jinxed, to be honest with you.
No, we've been in Scotland, yeah. Okay, not a big league, like I've said, but they've got one of the biggest confrontations out there in football: Celtic and Rangers. I mean, for me, the violence in that sort of thing is on the same level as.
I mean, this is the same guy that said that we need to. But this is the same guy that said we need to have winning mentality.
I get all that.
The guy can't.
I'm only on one bit. He must understand rivalry. I mean, because Celtic and Rangers is like Fenerbahce and Galatasaray, for God's sake.
He does.
Surely he must understand it.
No, he doesn't. He's made this mistake like 3 times now. He doesn't understand the rivalry. He thinks that he's thinking idealistically that we should want to win every game, regardless of the game. Every game's important. We'll win every game. Yes, ideally that's correct. But there's history with Tottenham Hotspur and Arsenal. There's certain rivalries, and you have to put importance on those rivalries because that's what the club has historically done.
He was hugging Arteta after the game. You know, I was in the stands. They were having a hug.
No, at the start of the game, I'm thinking Martin Jol would never have hugged Wenger in that same way, right?
Do you think he's too much of a nice guy?
Yeah.
That's not just him. That's football now, though. That's football where they're all coming out the tunnel and that, and the only thing they ain't doing basically is making out. And the way it used to be is they'd be having you'd have Roy Keane standing next to Vieira nearly kicking off with each other.
Did you see the mini scuffle where Vicario got a yellow card today, where the players went for each other when Timber grabbed one of our players? Right. That's what a North London derby's about. That's what it means. Like they know there's something in the air.
I had a seat by the touchline at Highbury, Easter Saturday '84. Arsenal beating Spurs 3-2. And it was the Saturday before we played Hajduk Split in the UEFA Cup semi-final at home in the second league. Marina's given it large. Perryman turned around to Mariner and said, "See you in Europe on Wednesday." That's what it meant to Stevie P. It's what it means to the fans. You can't expect Postecoglou to feel the same. All I want from Postecoglou is for him to set the team up correctly every single game to give 100%. I don't want Tottenham giving more against Arsenal than they do against Coventry. I want them giving the ultimate. I want to give them everything in both games because that's what I go for.
He should understand it, Ian. Though I'm sorry, he should understand it. Conte understood it.
He probably
Josie
does
understood it. Poch understood it.
It don't even look like he gets it, let alone understand it.
Conte called out Arsenal. He called out Arteta. He goes, "I hope you turn up this time," because they didn't turn up because of the code. Conte got it. You're right, Maz. He did get it. He got it.
And what did he do?
He got into Arteta's head.
Right? So did Mourinho, by the way.
Mourinho always gets it. Mourinho always gets it.
And does it make any difference to us if Postecoglou just says a few bits just to please the fans? Does it make any difference?
Actually, it does. Because I tell you why. I tell you why I feared this game. The first vision I saw of us playing against Arsenal today was Ange Postecoglou walking out, seeing Arteta and giving him a big hug and rubbing his face. And I'm thinking, oh, right, okay, that's really going to rub off well on the players. We're going to go in there like softies. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, but other managers do that with each other too, man. It's not just
that is football these days.
This is the North London derby. This is the North London derby.
But he should, whether he feels it or not, there's certain things you can and can't say. And I know he's lied and shot himself in the foot and that. But one thing I'll make him right, because Brian put it out that every game is as important as the other game. You should want to win that game just as much as that game. Totally get it. But he should be turning around and saying to the fans, right, this is the derby. This is the NLD. We're out to do this. Don't bring any other games into it. Just talk about this one. I want us to go for this one. This is a big one. Forget the other games. Just go talk about that game. But it looks like, I understand there's different things in life that you might not understand. You only get it or whatever. But he don't seem to even get it. He really don't.
You don't go and tell Spurs fans that this game is just like any other game, basically. And you don't do it to Arsenal fans. Same as you don't do it to Man U fans with Liverpool or Celtic with Rangers.
Dan, he doesn't differentiate, does he? Ange, every game's the same.
I think that's wrong. Listen, if you're a winner, if you're winning trophies left, right, and centre, and you're Man City, yeah, then fine. You can have that attitude because you're the best or you're up there. You know, you're competing. If you're Spurs wanting to get somewhere, then beating your rivals is part of that journey to get somewhere, right? We haven't beaten them for the last 3 games at White Hart Lane.
I know.
So he should know that. It's his bloody record anyway.
He doesn't care like the fans care.
And this is what I'm saying. He's willing to dictate to us to say that we should have a winning mentality. And I don't think he knows. Fine, he's won, cups and everything in other leagues. And no, I'm not trying to denigrate his achievements, right? But this is the Premier League.
Maz, do you think some of the players care as much as we do?
No,
but doesn't that come from the manager as well, though?
But would the manager come out? Would Madison have come out and said that it's just the North London derby, it's the same as any other game? No, the players wouldn't be that thick.
No,
that was a stupid thing for Ange to say. Along with turning round, and when your manager turns round and says, "I know we play attacking football, we concede more goals, but I'm cushy with that." Yeah, that was intelligent as well, wasn't it? How many times has he said something which is basically, like I said, the man's probably got no feet left. The amount of times he shot himself in the
Do you know what he's doing?
He's doing favors.
I was about to say he's doing what Ten Hag's doing, where he's giving fans something to grab hold of and twist against him. He's giving them rope. Whereas if he just said less and just kept it simple, I think a lot of this doesn't happen. Like, just say the North London derby, massive game. Both fans want to win it. We're going to do our absolute best to get 3 points for the fans because we know what it means. That's it. Done. Shut up. Don't speak. Now talk about who's injured, who's fit. Yeah.
Do you know what I don't get with the guy is I think every time he comes out and says something, first of all, I've never seen a manager say as many things as this guy does. Yeah. First of all, stop talking to us and actually fix the team, right? Stop talking to us about how we should feel and our mentality. Fix the team. You're talking to us about a winning mentality, and then you're coming out the week after and saying that you're not as bothered about conceding goals as the fans are. Like that straight away isn't a good relationship to build. But the common excuse that's always used is people say, "Oh, what do you want him to come out and say?" I don't. Stop. Just stop. Stop making these lavish statements. There's no reason we can't challenge for a title. Stop saying it. You know it's not true. You know, we want a winning mentality. I win everywhere I go in my second season. Every time he says this, it means all these people that keep making excuses. I've noticed all the people in your chat, right? Not all the people, but all the people that are doing what I'm about to say are the same ones who are in my chat doing it. They were the ones all summer hyping up Ange. Ange in his second season is spectacular. You watch what he's done with the players over the summer. You watch how good we are. You watch how different we are at attacking and defending in midfield. Now it's not panned out that way. They're now all backtracking and making things up that go directly against what Ange has said. Ange is telling us, have a better mentality. We want to win things. These fans that are backing him to the hill are saying the opposite. Yeah? And
what is the answer, Sav? What's the answer, mate? We've had all these managers, man. We've had all these managers. We've had the class managers. We've had the Mourinhos, the Contes. What? Yep. We're just going to sack him, get another manager, then what? Doesn't it tell you that it might just be, the problem might be more than just all these managers?
Yeah, but hang on, Spiros, you're preaching to the converted. I mean, of course the problem is higher up. But again, it's what is the problem? If we're talking about why aren't we winning leagues and cups, I'm going to firmly put the blame higher above. If we're talking about why can't the manager get a balanced football team that doesn't do what we do week in, week out at the moment and get poor results, that is not on Daniel Levy. That is on Ange Postecoglou. As I said, there are managers in this league with worse sets of players that set their team up better and get better results and are getting better results than us. Why? That's not on Daniel Levy.
What about the he bought, mate? What about all these young players he bought? That's on Daniel Levy. He's the one on all these young players.
But what one is then? Hang on a sec, Sab. Let me answer this one. Yeah, this is one that I must admit I do find comical. Yeah, how many people have gone on about? Oh, look, he picked Van der Ven. He picked this. He picked that. Oh no, he didn't want Timo Werner. That was Daniel Lee. Oh no. He didn't want Archie Gray. That's down to. Johnson. No. That's more of a club signing, whatever. And then you bring up a half decent player we got. Oh, Ange definitely picked that one. People got to make their minds up here. I personally don't see Daniel Levy going in for Timo Werner 165 grand a week. For me, that was Ange 110% because we got him twice. 165 grand a week. I honestly don't actually see Daniel Levy going for Archie Gray at 40 mil.
Yeah, I don't get
to
that.
make money on him.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, if it was like the Bergville deal, it's got Daniel Levy written all over it. That Archie Gray deal, no. I'm sorry. For me, that don't make sense with the history of Daniel Levy.
How much of this is on
the
land?
manager must... The manager must have had
sorry.
something to do with it. Let me finish. The manager must have had something to do with that one. Or because I just can't picture Daniel Levy going and picking a little boy, a kid that has never ever played in the Premiership for 40 million, hoping that he's going to get 60 million out of him, or he's probably won't even get his money back in 5 years' time. That is not how Daniel Levy has worked. So, whereas Bergville, it's got Levy written all over it. Johnson, was it because we needed him? Was it because Ange wanted him? I don't know. But people have got to stop picking out when it's good, it's Ange. When it's bad, it's Levy. Same as when we're playing bad. We are playing shit at the moment because the players have lost faith in Ange's tactics. And Ange's tactics are crap.
When we win, it's
Levy
Ange.
can't do that.
Ange and Levy are joined at the hip. You're amazing. When we lose, he's not been backed. He didn't have anything on the bench. It's the players' fault. Look at the people in the chat now blaming we didn't put away our chances today. What chances?
We had zero clear-cut chances.
I don't remember any chances today where I thought, we should have scored there.
It's the same people that say, "Oh, watch, Johnson's gonna come good." Oh, Werner did well in the limited half season that he did. They bring up all these excuses, and now today, all of a sudden, oh, well, if he had more quality, wait, you can't have it both ways. A couple weeks ago, you were saying these guys are enough. They got mad at us for, okay, granted, we call Johnson Beetlejuice or whatsoever, and now, Ange is not back. No, you can't have it. You can't have it. And I'm going to go there. He was back because out of his mouth, he said, these are my players. No players go through this club without going through me. So you know what? This is on Ange. Yes, we know Daniel Levy and the board, but Ange took 100% responsibility. And the fact this week he doubled down, and he doubled down today. Ours went to, so if we don't win a trophy this year, these players are shit. Is all on Ange because his big mouth and own it. So if you're owning it, then you own this mess.
Guys, can I ask you a question about today's game? Right, I want to ask you something about today's game because this is about Ange. It's got nothing to do with Levy, right? What did you make of the substitutions? Because there was one or two where I was just mind blown. Taking off Madison to bring on Werner, I was gobsmacked.
You should have brought Bergvall on.
Can I say something on this? Because I've got so much to say on this.
Alex,
can I say something on this? I was mind blown by it. I was mind blown by it because for me, right, he had the chance to just put on the youngsters. Yes, we don't. Yes, we can say whatever we want, but I'm sorry, they're there for a reason. And for me, I mean, Alderbert, whatever you say at the moment, unfortunately, we're putting him in this position. Okay, I don't like it, but unfortunately, we've got to play him now, which is annoying. The thing that annoys me at the moment, I think it's clear to me, he doesn't use the players to their strength. And for me, Poro should be more up that field for me.
Yeah.
Should be more of that field that he can cross the ball in.
Ages,
He's our best crosser all day long. I'm sorry. Madison, either be on the right or you put Burval on, right, in the number 10 role, or put Burval or Madison there, and that's it. But bringing on Timo Werner, bringing on Sarr, putting them in number. What are you doing?
If
what are you doing?
Good, why didn't he come on as a defensive midfielder?
I mean,
if he's that fucking good?
I was just like, what are you doing? And then it's just like,
let's look at the sub. Let's look at the subs, right? So we had Forrester in goal, obviously. We had Spence, Ben Davies, Dragusin, Gray, Sarr, Bergvall, Odebert, and Werner. So he did bring on Sarr. He did bring on Odebert. He did bring on Werner. Is there an argument to say that Spence, Gray, and Bergvall should be coming on ahead of Sarr, Odebert, or Werner?
100%.
Definitely.
Because what is he doing? Sorry. Go on, mate.
100%. For me, the most telling piece that happened today was when he put Werner on instead of Bergvall for Madison.
100%.
And for me, he put on another headless. He put another headless chicken on. With what we've seen. I mean, by the way, talking about Bergvall, that was Lange. It wasn't Levy. It wasn't Ange. That was Lange. Lange knows Scandinavia inside out. That's his specialist markets. And he went for Bergvall. And I think that will probably be the most telling contribution that Lange makes to our club, because I think Bergvall is going to be fantastic. And the sooner they get, he's playing for Sweden. He's playing for Sweden already. He's playing for his international team before he plays for his club team. Now, there's something wrong there, isn't there? There's something very wrong. That the Sweden manager picks him before his club manager picks him. It's ridiculous.
But this is the worst thing you can do to a young player transitioning from youth academy to adult men's. The worst thing you can do is deprive them of game time. If Bergvall and Gray are going to sit on that bench all season, they're going to regress, and they will not be near the levels of what they were scouted for. And I'm telling you, now that age, 18 to 21, 22, that's the toughest bridge to cross. And if they don't get the minutes, I'm sorry, they're not going to be what fans think they'll become. They won't.
Who do they play in front of?
Who do they play in front of? Well, Bergvall in front of Madison.
Question.
Sorry, Bergvall in front of Madison, and Gray. We haven't got a proper six. Gray's your only six.
So let me ask you a question then. So,
but Madison's better though, isn't he? On his day.
So this is the point, right? If we're going to get to the stage where already we're pronouncing that Bergvall, who no one's seen play more than, I think he's played like 34 minutes for Spurs this season. If we're just going to pronounce that he is better than James Madison,
I didn't say he's better, but you're saying who would you play him in front of? That was the question.
But he's whether he's better going to take these risks. He's already at a stage.
Hang on, wait a minute. All I'm hearing today, we should have picked up 9 points from the first 3 games, but because we had no cutting edge up front, we threw points away. I'm in Newcastle this weekend, and with quite a few friends who were at last week's game, and it was literally, they fully agreed with me. Dr. Tottenham came to town. We dominated. They all say to me, we dominated the game. And they picked us off. They had 3 chances. They scored 2 goals, and we were all over them. Everybody's telling me, all the Newcastle fans are telling me the same thing. Sure. So we haven't been shit this season. Everton have been shit this season. Southampton have been shit this season. We haven't been shit this season. We were awful today. We were awful today. We should have won the first 3 games.
And we was terrible against Newcastle.
Again,
we had again was possession.
Against Newcastle.
We had this. Yes, we was. Then how did we concede the same goals that we conceded last year with them? Exactly the same goal.
You can't judge.
Hang on, hasn't this got away from my point? This has really got away from the question I asked Ian. Ian, this has really got away from the question.
Yeah, bring it back to the question. Bring it back to the question.
Right. Okay. So I said to you, who the Bergvall and Gray start in front of? Now, bear in mind, when I asked this question, I'm not saying they should never play. I'm just saying, in the next Premier League game, I don't care. The Coventry game, we're going to make changes. I expect to see them both play.
Yeah.
In the Premier League game against Brentford, yes or no, would you start both Gray and Bergvall?
Yes, I would.
Okay, instead of who?
I think I would play Gray, Bergvall, and either Madison or Kulusevski. I'm not sure which one I'd play. Probably Madison. Probably Madison.
Okay. So my issue is this: I feel like because they're flavour of the month and they're young, people want to see them play. if you actually watch Gray and Bergvall whenever they've come on for Tottenham, and I'm not saying Bergvall, I don't rate Gray. From what I've seen, at the moment, I don't rate. But Bergvall looks a good player. But when I watched Bergvall the other night for Sweden, I watched him whenever he come over Spurs, he gives the ball away an awful lot. Now, not having a go, he's 18. But we're now suggesting that we drop 2 18-year-olds into a midfield to play in a Premier League game against a Brentford team that just gave Man City a really, really good game. I think Gray and Bergvall would be overrun by the likes of Janelt, Norgard.
Cooked.
And they would get battered in there. This is the problem. When we're saying...
Why? But why? Why do you think they would get... I mean, battered is a strong word.
But
why
I'll tell you
would
why.
they get battered?
I'll tell you why. Because one, neither of them have ever started a Premier League game before. Right? 2, when we watched Gray, especially, play against decent opposition in pre-season, he looked
smashed.
He looked like a little boy, absolutely out of his. He looked awful.
Sorry, mate. I watched the Bayern Munich game. After.
So did I.
I was away. I was away for the second game.
Yeah,
I missed the second game. The first game he was ill and should never have played, and he was really poor.
And the second game, he lost the ball more than 13 times. 13.
Hang on, Ian. Look, if he was ill or not, that's on the manager and the player. If he's ill, don't play. He played, and all he did in that first half against Bayern Munich was give the ball away. He then came on in the second game against Bayern Munich, and I believe it was something like 8 out of 20 passes he attempted, he gave the ball away. Now, I'm not saying these kids can't be good players, but when you're saying straight away, let's drop 2 18-year-olds into a midfield for a Premier League game in a club that struggle, or the club that is struggling, they all get eaten alive.
We're struggling to put chances away. We're struggling to create and finish teams off. That's what we're doing. First 3 games, that was we beat Everton, were hopeless. But the other games, we should have buried Leicester and we should have buried Newcastle.
Why? Why should we have buried Leicester? Can I ask why? Why should we have buried Leicester?
Why? We should have been 5 up at half time.
Okay. So Ian, tell me the 5 clear-cut chances we should have been 5-0 up.
Well, Solanke had 3, didn't he?
They weren't clear-cut chances. He had a couple of headers. He weren't. But
he had 2 chances. He should have done much better with. I'll give you that.
But this is what we're doing here. You've already said it. We should have had 9 points against Newcastle, Leicester, and that. We have not been playing shit. Look back at these games and actually have a look at clear-cut chances. The only clear-cut chance I can remember against Newcastle, right, was clear-cut, was Odegaard at the back post when he went with his knee instead of his head.
No, Johnson's shot. Johnson made space. He had a clear shot 16 yards out. He ballooned it over the bar.
Okay, sure. So please tell me, how do Gray and Bergvall impact that?
How do they? Well, if you remember, Bergvall nicked the ball against Bayern Munich and put Kulu in for the goal. That's the sort of thing that we needed today.
But that's not what you just said. You said we haven't been finishing.
How do we impact? How do we impact on that?
How do those 2 impact not finishing?
Okay,
it's a hit and hope. You're just hoping.
You're hoping.
I'm hoping. Well, listen, I haven't got history behind me to say that they've scored 3 in 6. They should be playing. The manager's wrong to drop them. It's all speculation, and that's all we can go on. But I have every confidence in them, having seen the way we have played since in the last that you mentioned, the last 32 games. So why, after 32 games, these guys have just come in? Why shouldn't they be given a chance? How many chances do these players have to be given,
Ian,
before they get dropped?
Ian, okay, I agree to an extent, but let's have a look at this, right? So far this season in central midfield, Ange has played Suma, Sarr, Bentancur, Maddison, Kulusevski, Bergvall, right? And I think Gray came on once, right? Or whatever it was for like 3 minutes. I don't know, like a few minutes.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden we're saying that Gray is just going to leapfrog all 6 of those players, most of them who are international midfielders, and is just going to suddenly start.
Right, let me answer that. Let's talk about square pegs in square holes. Last year, Newcastle had a bad injury crisis. Eddie Gray was asked why he played Lewis Miley. at 17, and he said, because it's square pegs in square holes. Now, we don't have a 6, so let's stop trying to shove people in.
Yeah.
Yeah? You know, Southgate made a massive mistake with Foden, didn't he? Tried to shove him in, played him totally out of position.
Sure, but...
Right? This is what Ange does. He doesn't put the right players in the right spot. Johnson is not a right winger. Johnson plays central. Steve Cooper said that's his best position. Whether he's good or not is not what I'm discussing.
But I'm trying to understand Graham Bergvall, not Brennan Johnson or Phil Foden. I'm trying to understand Archie Gray and Bergvall.
The midfield and the strike force have not been playing well enough. We don't have alternatives up front. We don't have them, but we do in midfield. Lancashire, unfortunately, is injured. Richarlison is injured, whether you like Richarlison or not. They are both injured. We don't have alternatives. You stick with Solanke. He's only played 2 games, but either side, some's been off form apart from Everton. I mean,
I get that, but I'm not talking about up front. In midfield, are we seriously saying then that in our next game against Brentford, we're going to start Bergvall and Gray, and you're going to see Bentancur, Basuma, and Sarr and Kulusevski all sitting on the bench for Tottenham Hotspur?
Yes.
International players that have played in the Premiership. Yes, they're playing crap. Yes, they're playing crap. Ian, it does matter. Why are you going to drop a little boy in there? Maybe they're not. But why are you going to drop a little 18-year-old boy in there who's never even played top professional football in his life over international players, even though they're playing crap? Tell you what, I'll just stick this little boy in there who's never even touched top football in his life because I know he's going to do better. You've got to milk him in slowly. You've got to bring them on slowly.
But do you know he's the third most expensive 17-year-old in the history of football?
You want to know top 3?
I mean, Ian, he didn't even get in the Championship first 11.
He was best young player of the year, Dan.
No, he wasn't.
Yes,
he didn't even get in the first 11.
He was best young player of the year. It was a set.
Then why didn't he make the first 11?
Hang on. I don't know. Forget that. When have Ian? What I'm trying to understand, Ian. When have you watched this? When everyone keeps telling me the Archie Gray should play. When have you watched him, or when has anyone watched him and gone, that guy has to start for Tottenham Hotspur in central midfield?
The point is we are defending on this, right? Unfortunately, like I said at the beginning, we've put ourselves in that position. We didn't get a midfielder. We have, because we bought them in, and we said, well, we're ready. They're ready, exactly. The ITK said they're ready. That's why I said it's the biggest.
Alex, forget ITKs. Is Archie Gray better than Basuma?
No, it's not. He's not. No. Right, but the point is, we should have never put him in that position. Put him in the squad.
We don't know. That's the problem. We don't know.
Alex, we've got no idea. But we're not in that position. You guys are creating that position, right? We're not in a position where we've got no one fit and he has to play. My question is this: just answer yes or no. Is Archie Gray better than Basuma?
No.
Is Archie Gray better than Bentancur?
No.
Is Archie Gray better than Papa Sarr?
No.
Right. Is Archie Gray better than Maddison?
No.
Is he better than Kulusevski?
No. Hang on. You can't compare Archie Gray to Maddison and Kulusevski. They're different players. Compare Bergvall to Maddison and Kulusevski.
Ian. My point is the 5 players I've just mentioned there have all played central midfield in one way or another under Ange this season. My point is, if he is not better than any of those 5 players, why on earth would he start? And no one can give me a reason.
Let me ask.
Ian, can I say one thing on this? Ian, I want to say one thing on this, right? Isn't the problem here, right? The fact is, none of us know if they're better or not. No. Right? No, wait.
Of course we do.
Wait. No, hear me out. Because we've not seen them play for Spurs in the Premier League, we have no idea what level they're at. So because they're young, we're just going to say, right, because you're young, we're just going to go with the fact that we have seen the older players play, so therefore they must be better until we see you play.
Well, they're in the squad still.
Wait.
I watched Archie Gray last season. He is nowhere near ready.
Let me finish what I'm saying. Right. We don't know until they play for Spurs. Right. That's going to be the proof. That's going to be the evidence. But had we have signed Neto and Eze, this isn't even a conversation.
That's the point I'm making. That's exactly what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but the thing is, Alex is
whereas with Gray and Bergvall, we do know they're not Neto and Eze.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
But Alex, your point you're making is you're saying, right, that this is the position we put ourselves in at the moment. For next week, Basuma, Bentancur, Kulusevski, Madison, and which other one have I missed out? And Sarr are all fit to play. So we're not in a position where we have to go, we've left ourselves only Gray and Bergvall. That's why they've not played. That's why, of all the midfield combinations we've seen this year, Bergvall has not started a single game.
Yeah, I agree.
And neither has Archie Gray.
They're not good enough. They're not good enough, are they? They're not good enough. But the point that's why I'm angry. Better than what we've got. Exactly. That's why I'm angry. We didn't get a midfielder in the transfer window because we obviously were not ready then. So all this talk at the beginning of the season, this is what I was saying.
So why have we spent £70 million on them then if they're on the bench
that's the
week?
question.
They're in the squad.
It wasn't 70 million. It wasn't 70 million.
How much was Bergvall?
About 10 million euros.
Oh, sorry, I'm thinking Odebert was 30. Sorry, you're right. I stand corrected.
Yeah, we can chuck him in as well.
Well, he plays, doesn't he? Though he actually plays.
I do get Ian's point. I do get Ian's
Bergvall
point.
and Gray was what 50 million combined, roughly.
Yeah,
50?
yeah. I do get Ian's point. That's what I'm saying.
Alex, if you're Bergvall and Gray and you're sitting on the touchline and you're watching that crap in midfield, you're thinking, what do I have to do to get a game?
Well,
these guys aren't worth their place.
Well, because the thing is,
what have they done that's that bad? The central midfielders, what have they done that?
No, I just don't think
they're creating anything. We're all saying we're not creating stuff.
If Gray looks that good, then why hasn't the manager gone?
That's the point.
Make your mind up. You've just contradicted yourself. Just now you said we've created loads, we can't finish. Now you're saying
Leicester we did.
Now you're saying our midfielders aren't creating anything.
We're not creating clear-cut chances in most games, but we're getting enough.
Archie Gray fixes that. And Archie Gray fixes that.
Archie Gray as a 6 will help bring balance to the team. There's no balance in the side at the moment. Sometimes you get a balance, and you don't have the best 11 players in the team to have a balance.
Of course.
So bring Gray in. Give the kid a chance. Everybody moans about Basuma. He hasn't been the same player since he got suspended against Luton. Bentancur, unfortunately, has had his form wrecked because of injury, and he's been inconsistent. Sarr, God knows what's happened to Sarr this season. He's been shocking.
Ian, Archie Gray wasn't even played every week in the number 6 for Leeds in the Championship.
No, he played right back on a few games. He played right back.
I've just looked at the stats, guys. I've just looked at the stats. Spurs v Leicester. Both Leicester and Tottenham had 2 clear-cut chances, identical.
Yeah, exactly. But all of this, we should have been 5-0 up. It's not true. But
we had exactly the same clear-cut chances as Leicester City.
If Archie Gray was that good at number 6, like you said, he was that good in midfield, in the Championship, Leeds wouldn't have taken him out of that position to play him at right back. You don't move a player who's indispensable to play somewhere else.
Well, all the Leeds fans I've spoken to are absolutely gutted that he's left. They are
Leeds, but these are the same Leeds fans that were thanking us for letting them have Joe Roden. There's levels to the game.
Weren't they upset when we signed Jack Clark as well?
Roden did a good job for him last season.
Yeah, I know he did. So did Gray.
In the Championship, Ian.
That's what I'm trying to say the whole time. But you were right on what you said. He did win the FA Player. I think you're both. You were right. But he didn't get into the first 11 of the best team of the season.
Who did, Dan? Let's
I just told you.
But maybe I just told you. Who?
I just told you that you were right. Great.
No. I'm just saying. But who got into the team of the year in the Championship? Because maybe
4 Leeds players. 4 Leeds players.
Okay. Well, maybe one of the players in Archie Gray's position is better than him. And he's playing Premiership.
If he had Spence got in that team the season we signed him as well, though.
Spurs were looking at Gray for months. This wasn't a 2-minute thing that all of us, let's buy Archie Gray. They were looking at him for months.
Haven't we? Ian,
but I thought Ange was looking at him, and I thought Ange wanted him.
In the last 5 years, though, haven't we done this? Everything you're arguing now, Ian, I've heard this exact same thing for Jack Clark, for Ryan Sessegnon, for Roden, for Ng, Nkudu, Jed Spence, Bergwijn, Valise. We keep doing this with young players. We keep just thinking they're going to be better than what we've got. The step up from the Championship to playing central midfield for Tottenham. Now, no matter how frustrated we are with Bentancur and Basuma, this kid is not better than either of them. And
we don't know.
Ian,
We don't know if this season he is going to play better.
Ian, I've got a super chat for you. Sava, hold on. I've got a good super chat here.
We do know that, Ian.
We don't know. Until we see them, would you have thought that Kobe, this time last year, do you think a United fan would have put Kobe Mainu in the midfield for United?
But Ian, the difference is Man United had an injury crisis that gave Kobe Mainu his opportunity, right?
Same as it did with Kane with us. The only reason Kane got a look in is because we had no striker.
Right,
guys, can I just do one super chat? Ian, Sava, let me do one super chat. I know, but this is going to be great for your debate, though, right? I just quickly want to say, bring a big boy who says fan base is rotten. See you in 2030. Don't blame you. Frankie Tottenham says this season will be Groundhog Day season. Agreed. Right. This is the super chat that I want you guys to debate because it puts perspective on this, right? Scott M says this: Rodri, Declan Rice, Gravenberch, Onana, Gomares, Fernande. These are the guys who play six for our rivals. Are we really pretending great is that level? I think that's a great kind of perspective.
This is what I mean. But the problem is,
Game over.
I'm not saying none of these kids should ever get given a chance. But the problem you've got is we all know that managers have a pecking order. We all know that managers have a pecking order, right? Every single one of them. The first sub is this guy. We knew it would be Sarr today. You know Werner's coming on. They've got a pecking order, right? The fact that Archie Gray is not even getting brought on against Newcastle, he's not getting brought on against Arsenal, and now we want him to suddenly jump in front of all these international players and start. Whatever we think of Bentancur and Basuma, Archie Gray isn't them. He is a kid. He is not them, right? And the problem is, if you chuck him into this team that is not performing well, all the blame.
You'll totally destroy him.
You'll destroy him.
Sav, at what point do you give these kids a chance?
Coventry.
I think it's got to be against Karabag, against these random European teams. I think that's, but not all at the same time. Put them
You
next to some
respect
adults.
the European teams. You respect the European teams. They will slap us.
But what I don't want us to do is where we put
Not Karabag,
8 kids into a game against Karabag. What I'd rather we do is play a strong team, but drop 2 or 3 kids in there so they've got the adults to help them, to carry them through the game.
Stelios, I understand where you're coming from, yeah. I take Sava's point. I actually take Ian's point as well. I think it's a good debate here, but it's what I said at the beginning. When you put people in the squad, right, you're saying to me they're good enough to compete. And unfortunately, what we've done is we brought these kids in and they're obviously not ready. So whose fault is that? Whose fault is that?
No, they are ready. No, Alex, they are ready. Otherwise, they don't make the bench.
Well, at 40 million, they should be bloody ready.
But the problem is that they should have either done what Sav is saying with Gray, put him on loan again, and Bergwijn needed somebody in front of him to take that pressure off him, and that's it. Or someone experienced, and that's it for me. But for me, it just looks like a team that doesn't look like they're planned well at all, because they're obviously not ready, because Ange does not trust them. He does not trust them.
They're gap fillers. That's all they are.
That's the problem. That's the problem.
He's trusting players who are letting him down, which is where I kind of back in now. He's trusting players that are letting him down.
I know this is the thing.
We've won one game in 4, and he keeps playing these players like Odegaard,
if that is the problem, then
and Johnson's and you're gone.
But this is the problem, though. Still, yeah. If you're gonna do that, then right, you've got them on the bench, right, and they're these players that are like your Bentancurs, your Basumas, and whatever's letting you down. if you're not using the players that you're on the bench right now, well, there's a problem there. You see what I'm saying? Because there's no competitiveness there, and this is where we have a problem here, because we're doing the same things we're doing every day.
Regarding this,
yeah, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. I am blaming Ange for this. Because he should have insisted to get a midfielder that is competent.
Alex,
he should insist to do all this.
If he had bought on Archie Gray today, what difference would it have made?
No, this is the point, though, Sava. Unfortunately,
I don't think it changes anything.
It doesn't change. No, it doesn't change anything. But the point is, though, Sava,
but he's a defensive midfielder, Estelle, in a game where we've got all the football.
Correct.
What actual position does he actually play? What does he play? I've had Ian tell me he's a central mid. I've had other people tell me he's a right back. I've had other people tell me he's a defensive midfielder. What position is he actually best at? So what would we have brought him on for?
No, Dan, I would have brought wouldn't necessarily have brought Gray on today because we had all the possessions, particularly second half. We needed somebody who could, with the guile, to carve them open.
I thought Burval. I think you put Burval on. That was the only.
I personally thought when Maddison came off, I thought he was going to bring on Bergvall. I thought it's got to be Bergvall. When I saw Werner,
better than bloody Werner.
I couldn't believe what he was doing.
Werner, I'm sorry.
Can I say Werner and Pape Sarr, when they came on, were both shit.
They're just awful.
We were worse when the defense came. When the subs came on, we was actually worse.
Yeah, we were.
We
were worse.
I don't know what you saw on TV, but where I was sitting in the stadium, as soon as Arsenal scored, our heads dropped. We were like,
oh, completely.
That's how it felt.
But I thought it was even worse when the subs came on. And at no time did we dominate that game with Arsenal. We didn't dominate that game with bloody Newcastle. We dominated the game with Everton, and we did not dominate that game with Leicester. The only thing that saved us with Leicester was the fact that Bentancur got knocked out, because they was right on us. We was right back in the back. You could see a goal coming. He goes down for 10 minutes. It slowed everything. Newcastle, again, we had the ball, plenty of it, everything else and that. Was we dominating it? No, we wasn't. We weren't even getting clear shots at goal. The only chances we got is because their goalkeeper fucked up so much. And then it comes to Arsenal today. They just done what Newcastle did, what every other team does. Sit back, wait, let them have all the ball, and we'll take advantage of the fact that they got no wingers or that they will mess up. That is not domination. We did not dominate in any of the games.
So based on your logic then, Dan, based on your logic, how many games do we have to lose before you throw people like Gray and Bergwall into the team? What do we do? Do we lose the next three?
That's a good question, by the way.
No.
That's a good question.
I'll answer your question. I don't throw him into the team. What I do is, like today, when we got 10 minutes left and it looks like it's going nowhere, then I go and stick Bergvall on instead of Maddison or whatever, or instead of someone, and I say, there you go, there's 10 minutes. I don't just go at the start of the next game when my whole life is depending on it, basically, like Angie's is now.
It's only 3 points. It's only 3 points, Dan.
You didn't let me finish. You didn't let me finish. Let me finish. When Angie's whole career is basically sitting on these next 2 games, because if he screws up these next 2 games, well, he's baked potato by January anyway.
Especially Coventry.
So am I really going to start some boy that, I repeat again, has never, ever played at top style football, and when he even did play an average Munich team that barely even turned up, he got made to look like he was absolute crap the amount of times he lost the ball and got cooked on there. Do I really go and put my full faith in this 18-year-old boy to drop him in over Bentancur, over Sarr, over Basuma, over that? No, I don't, because my whole career depends on it. Now, if we're doing a game like Everton 4-0 and we're 3-0 up and whatever, 30 minutes to go, do you know what? There you go, Archie Gray. Have some fun. Just keep it tight.
Agreed.
I don't go and drop them into the middle of it. Yes, our team is playing shit down to the tactics, and they are. But I am not putting my life on the line over some little boy that has never, ever played quality football in his entire life.
Dan, do you know I used to
Well, he hasn't. He has not played in top quality football. Tell me when. Sorry, he played Chelsea in a cup.
Firstly, Wasn't he superb at Stamford Bridge last season in the FA Cup?
I just said that. I just said apart from Chelsea. I said apart
okay,
from
well, he's
Chelsea.
only played one game against a Premier League club and he was superb in it. So I don't know what you expected.
Okay, and then in the game at the end of the season to get up to the next league, he was one of the worst players on the pitch.
Leeds were shocking that day.
But Ian, you've got an excuse for everything. This is the problem, right? If we're going to take every time a player stands out in a cup game against a bigger club, how many years down the line could you turn around and say, "Oh my God, so and so was sensational today for Macclesfield against Newcastle as they knocked them out the cup"?
They watched Gray. They watched Gray most of last season, Sam. They didn't watch him for one game.
They watched Gray so much. They wanted him so much that he doesn't get on the pitch for Tottenham Hotspur.
That's the manager. That's
so who
the
watched
manager
him?
Isn't playing the kids, apart from Odebear, which is
Ian,
a total anomaly.
who
doesn't play kids? Sad.
Who watched him?
Sad. Listen to me. We lost our back two at against Chelsea. He had a chance to play Phillips at Wolves.
You're telling me things I know. That's not what I asked.
He plays Dyer, who's got no future at the club.
I know, but this has got nothing to do with Gray.
You
said they watched him.
Down. I'm giving you examples of Ange. We're 2-1 down at home to West Ham and Villa. He takes Lo Celso off. He should have played Donnelly. He put Skip on. This is who we have got as manager.
You said they watched him all of last season.
Last season. They don't spend 40 million on one game.
Who is they?
The scouting team.
Right. So you're saying the scouting team wanted Gray, but Ange Postecoglou didn't want him.
I'm sure he did want him, but he's not playing him for some reason.
But you just said he doesn't play the youth players. Make him
He's not playing the kids.
So why would he want Archie Gray then? So why would he want him then?
One second, guys. Let me understand this. Guys, 1 second. So, Ian, what the guys are saying is, if the scouts scouted him and Ange said yes, then why would Ange say yes if he's not going to play him?
Maybe because some players come up and you grab them before other clubs do, and you bring them in, and then you think to yourself, maybe in 12 months' time, 24 months' time, they're going to be superstars.
Yeah, then he should have.
Why didn't he go back out?
He didn't buy. What he didn't do, he got rid of Højbjerg, Skip, Lo Celso.
Yeah.
Why didn't he go out alone?
I think, guys, I said it once. I think the issue was.
Take care. Take care.
Take it easy. I'll see you another time.
If I can, right? I think the issue was that they wanted to bring in Archie Gray in a year's time, right? The issue was Brentford wanted to bring him in, and they were pretty much agreed with Leeds to bring him in, right? So I think what we did is panic and bring Archie Gray into our club for a higher fee, right? Just because we wanted to secure the talent. The issue was the issue was at Brentford, Archie Gray would have been guaranteed more playtime, right?
Yes.
Because it's Brentford. They do I
disagree.
I mean, you know, when you do transfer negotiations with the players' agents, whatever, right? Brentford probably told him, listen, we are like a over relegation fighting team, whatever, we'll give you plenty of chances, whatever, right? Then Tottenham comes along and Archie Gray has like a choice between Spurs, where he doesn't get game time, or Brentford, where he gets some game time. So to convince him, we said, you are going to be part of the first team, which is the mistake, right? Because now, as Dan and Saba, you guys said, right? Ange won't risk his job to play Archie Gray to develop him, right? Ange, he has to know the fans aren't happy, right? He has to know that we want results from him, right? So he won't risk the job to bring Archie Gray in, right? That's the issue. For me, if we were a properly run club, I think we should have loaned him back to Leeds, especially because Leeds didn't come up. Right?
Agreed. He should have got
that's the
problem
point.
The problem is that we put him in.
But I don't think we could have got him if that was the plan, right? If we approach the transfer negotiations, but that's stupid in my opinion. Yeah.
No, I'm not saying you're stupid.
Let Murray speak a minute. Alex,
I gotta leave. I'm gonna say this, and I've always felt about this club, especially after Poch left. I honestly do not trust youth talent at Tottenham, meaning that with Gray and Bergvall, even with Devine, it might be more. I trust more this talent with Pep or Klopp or Arne Slot. There is no evidence that with Ange he can develop these young talent and make these guys stars. Like if Gray was at Man City, I trust Pep knows when to bring on the player, when to play that player. I trust him. The rumors were a couple years ago that we would look at Alvarez. I even said it. I said Julian Alvarez, the worst thing you would do is to come Spurs, go to Man City. And what he did, he did the smart thing. He did the smart thing. Even when we brought in Valise, I was like, you need to go to Italy. Go to Italy. Don't come to Spurs because I don't trust our team to flourish these players. So with Gray and Bergvall, I really think it would have been best for them to go on loan. But the problem is we paid high price for them to play now under a manager I don't even trust to develop these players. I trust Pep, right? I trust De Zerbi. I even trust Arne Slot more than Ange. There's no evidence of Ange really taking youth talent and making them flourish.
Murray, do you think the issue? Can I ask you, Murray? Do you think the issue here, though, is I think that what's happening here with a lot of Spurs fans is if Archie Gray had cost 5 million, right? No one would give a monkeys. No one would care. If he cost 5 million, no one would care. We'll see him play 3 or 4 minutes here or there. The problem is, and I'm seeing people in the chat saying things like, oh, Pep slowly bought in Foden. Yeah, they didn't pay 40 million for Foden. Oh, Garnacho. Yeah, they didn't pay 40 million for him. The problem is we've paid 40 million for Archie Gray.
Yeah.
And now fans, sorry for me, I'll bring Ian into this, sorry, but fans are going, oh, he's really good, get him in. We've got no way of knowing that this guy's good. Whenever he's pulled on a Spurs shirt, he's looked every inch of the teenager he is and not ready. But we want him to start above established internationals. That's the difference for me as to why we don't blood these players in. The price tag for me is clouding people's judgment of whether or not Gray should actually be playing for Tottenham in the first team or not.
I'll just go back to what I said before. Unfortunately, we big up Murray. I go back to what I said before. We put ourselves in that position because we didn't get a midfielder in to help and make an informed decision on these players. Right? We kept them in the squad, saying, okay, they're good enough for the bench. Right? They don't look like they can compete with the players that we've got at the moment, and that's all worrying for me at the moment because when you've got that sort of issue right now, you've got all these games. You're going to have to put them in one day or another, isn't it? You know what I mean? What if our players get injured? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's not the case that I'm saying they're good enough, no. But the problem is they're in the squad, and this is why I keep on going back to this thing as well. Like I'm saying, when you got players like we've got at the moment that are not winning games at the moment, right? Where's the pressure coming from the bench? If they're not giving you pressure on the bench, what are they doing on the bench?
Alex Gray is like 7th choice midfielder.
I know. Well, this is the problem I have at the moment, though, Sava. What
he should be on loan.
The club are making noises saying that they're good enough for the bench for the squad, and this is where this is why I did a video said on Mr. Box Office TV. This is a mistake.
I don't even think
Michael
Gray's good enough for the
missed out
bench.
my name as well, by the way. He missed out my name because I was saying the thing that Dan and Sava were saying, by the way. Yeah. So that's the thing. That's the thing. So it's like I'm sorry. I don't know what I see what Ian's saying. I do see what Ian's saying because the club have not debunked saying they're not good enough because you're absolutely right, Sava. Man City would not do this. Liverpool would not do this. Arsenal would not do this. You see what I'm saying?
Chelsea.
So I'm not saying that anyone's wrong here. It's just the club have just not handled this situation well at all.
I don't think he's even good enough for the subs bench. I think he's only on there because we've got no options.
Well, Dan, that's
the squad is worse this season than it was last season. The squad is worse. He's got no option but. I'm agreeing with you. He's got no option but to put him on there.
Exactly. And that's the point.
That's what I mean. I don't even think he's good enough for the subs bench. So we're hardly going to.
Isn't it concerning? Isn't it concerning for everybody though that we'd already bought one 18-year-old midfielder, right? And you're bringing through Bergvall, you'd think, right, do we need to at the same time now go and spend 40 million of our transfer budget on another one? Surely we blood one of them. And equally, if we want another 18-year-old, you've got Hall, you've got Devine.
Yes.
You've got these players already. But Spurs have gone and bought Gray, and suddenly everyone's pretending that they know how good this kid is. I'm not saying, listen, he could be brilliant in 2 or 3 years. But from what I saw in pre-season, there's nothing about him that made me go, yeah, this boy's got to play. There's nothing about him that made me go, he's anywhere near Basuma, Bentancur. Don't get me wrong. Those are frustrating footballers. I'm the first to say that Basuma and Bentancur are inconsistent. But that doesn't mean Archie Gray's ready to start games above them. There's a huge gap there. There's a huge difference between how much we rate these players and expect from them versus is this kid ready to start in front of them?
But fortunately, Sam, we've got to deal with this. We've got to deal with this now because we've got no transfer window now because we've made that decision at the end of the transfer window.
Alex,
I get your point. I get your point.
That doesn't mean he has to play them, Alex.
I know, but
Bergvall, yes, I don't think Gray's going to get a lot of minutes. I really don't think Gray's going to get a lot of minutes unless he's in the Europa League.
That's where my frustration is at the moment.
But the other question is, football players these days. How do I put this? I've got to be careful. Football players these days are mentally weaker than they ever have been in history. Yeah, it's just the way things are now. Yeah, it's all kiss, 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 cuddle, cuddle, put them in a bloody bubble and everything, and hopefully things go all right. So you now go and get a player. Now, okay, I don't know how mentally strong he is, but I'm only going by what I see by percentage. A young 18-year-old, while the team is in complete and utter downfall, basically, and go, there you go, bang. Drop him in the middle of it. He has 3 crap games. There's a chance that you mentally destroy this kid, that he never becomes a footballer.
Well, that's on the club, Dan. That is on the club for making that decision. Because the thing is, though, like I said,
that's why he should be out on loan.
Sav and you are absolutely right. Yeah, like I'm not dismissing what Ian's saying because he's got a point what he's saying as well. Yeah. But it's just for me, you are absolutely right. You are mentally taking. Yeah, you're right. You have to be careful here. But it's just, you are destroying. You are destroying that guy's young kid. But we should have never. This is why I say we should have never put him in that position in the first place. We should
Alex, do you know in this transfer window, right? When Spurs fans were praising the 40 million signing of Archie Gray. At the same time, when I was saying, do you know who'd be really good in an Ange system? I was saying people like Conor Gallagher. People were going, I don't want Conor Gallagher, but we want Archie Gray. That's where this fan base is at the moment, that a player that's just been taken by Simeone at Atletico Madrid, we turn our noses up at, but at the same time, it's, oh my God, Archie Gray's brilliant for Ange ball. That's where we're at as a fan base. So when we talk about the owners not having any ambition, I think it sits with a fan base as well.
So
we stick our face up at Chiesa, and he's not good enough. And he goes blood, and we go and get bloody Odegaard, and that's definitely a good buy for 30 million, isn't it? By the look of it, and we stick our face up at Chiesa, who ain't good enough for Spurs, but all of a sudden he's good enough for Liverpool squad.
Guys,
Sir, Conor Gallagher has been Ange's number one target for the last year. He was never going to join Spurs in a million years. No, but Ange wouldn't be told. And he kept on and on and on. He was his number one target.
That wasn't the point I was making.
I know it wasn't.
Wasn't the point I was making.
No. But
the point is, we turn our noses up. Dan and I did a show a couple of weeks before the window shut. If you remember, Dan, I talked about Locatelli. We had fans in the chat going, he wouldn't suit the Premier League. But at the same time, they're going, really want to see what Bergvall or Gray does. And you're like, Italian international, Serie A, kid from Sweden, kid from Leeds. Don't worry, we'll have these two kids. That's where we're at.
Yeah.
So Alex is right. We should have bought proper midfielders.
You were saying it as well, Saba. By the way, it's not just you were saying. You've been saying it. Stelos has been saying it. I think Dan's been saying it. You know what I mean? We've been all saying it that we needed proper midfielders. Now we see what the situation we're in now.
Yeah.
And like me and Kuva have been saying,
we call it oven-ready players.
You might as well just stick the kids in. If you think you're ready, stick the kids in because you believed in them so much. Just stick them kids in. That's why I see from Ian's point. But I know they're not ready because Ange can see he's not ready, and he's shown his hand last season when we had the class of '92. I was told, but how many class of '92 played last season? None of them. None of them. And then the guy goes on bloody ITV and says as Southgate, play the youngsters. Oh, this guy gets on my nerves, and that is not my manager. I'm sorry.
I've just got two quick super chats from Jerome, who says scouts give Ange a list of players, and I'm sure from that list given to Ange, he picked the least worst of them. Same thing they did to Poch and Cuckoo and so on, leave you out. And they send another super chat. I think he's correcting himself, saying and Kudu. I mean, listen, until these managers come out,
very good players though.
Well, I was going to say, until the managers come out and tell us the full truth. But I think it's pretty clear after what Conte said, something's not right behind the scenes. Listen, guys, we've been going for 3 hours. I do need to wrap it up. So last couple of minutes, and then we'll call it a night. Let's just go around once and just have whatever say you want to say, and then we'll call it a night. Please make sure you subscribe to the Hotspur Hood, the Football Heritage TV, and Mr. Box Office TV, everyone. Great channels. Always supportive of our channel as well, coming on as guests. So please show the love to these guys. Dan.
Same Spurs, different day, different game. And I am now Ange out because he has done nothing to show me, even though it's only 4 games, that he has got the capability, let alone the willingness to adapt in any means or manager. When you got a problem, everything's going wrong. I know it's going to go back to square one again, but when you're ill, you go to the doctor and you start again, basically. I think this man's got to go and we got to start again because it's blatantly obvious it's his tactics more than the players.
There you have it. Dan, is Ange out? Michael?
I wanted to make a nasty comment, but I don't know if I should.
Say it how you see it, mate.
No, I'm spending too much time with you guys. I'm losing patience and willingness to fucking leave. When I watch this club.
Why do we get blamed for literally everything? Why are we blamed for how you feel?
I'm joking, of course. No, on a serious note, right? As I said, I just feel like a parent that has a really stupid kid, right? And to watch that stupid kid, which is Spurs in this case, right? Basically doing exactly what you expected, which wasn't much, and you are still disappointed that your expectations weren't high, but they still disappoint you, right? That's the way I see it. And unfortunately, it's really tough to say. I said I think I'm hitting the worst, like the worst state a fan of a football club can be, which is you are just let down and you don't really give a toss if your club is playing good or bad. I think that's really disappointing. Honestly, since I became a Spurs fan, that happens to me pretty much every season.
That's bad, man. It's true. It's true.
No,
it's true.
Like, honestly, guys, that's unfortunately the way it is. But yeah, that's the way I see it. I expected us to lose. The fan in me said we maybe can get a job. Unfortunately, we couldn't. And on to Coventry. I hope I have electricity when I get to watch Coventry, because right now the part of Poland I live in is getting flooded. So yeah, apparently 7 meters of water coming to my city. So it will be nice.
Get your swimming costume on.
Yeah, I know. On a serious note, I will have to stock up tomorrow in a shop before the flood wave comes to my city, because that's going to be tough.
Be safe, man. Make sure you be safe. Make sure you be safe if you can. Big up to Michael. Sava, when you next on, what's going on with Football Heritage TV this week?
Yeah. Coventry. I reckon.
Sounds great.
Yeah. I just
full of life and energy.
I can't be bothered. I can't be bothered to go live.
Where it's all a bit energy sapping, isn't it? Like, it does. I'm at the stage as a fan where it doesn't seem to matter what the results are, what the truth is.
You just don't give a fuck.
People are still debating it. It's like I've just been watching your chat all night, and the number of people that still can't blame Ange for what's going on is truly mind-boggling. Look, the last thing I'll say tonight, thanks for having me on. I've really enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed the back and forth, Ian, with you. First time we've properly really done that. Obviously, there's no offense, mate. I really enjoyed it.
Of course, none taken.
One thing I would say is my disappointment is I get when people are saying about the players that are picked by the scouting network and Lang and all that. But when I look at some of the footballers that have moved this window for really good prices, I can't believe that if Ange had turned around and gone, I like the look of Fofana, I like the look of Kefren Turam, I like the look of Shule, I like the look of Dovbyk. All of these players were like 30 million or less.
Kone going to Roma.
Kone, yeah. When we look at these players and everyone tells me, oh, Ange is given a list of which to pick from, I fail to believe that they've okayed 40 million on Archie Gray, but they can't okay a 25 million on a Locatelli so for me, something's not right. We know it's not right. I think it's a mixture of the club and Ange, because Ange has never managed top players before. I question, does he know what a top player is? Listen, I'm sad to say it, that everything we said over the summer after 4 games has already come true. And when I'm told for patience, I don't even need to wait till game 10, game 20. It's all there. It's all there. And when people are saying it's wages, sorry, last thing, people are saying it's wages. I fail to believe that Kefren Turam, Fofana, Sule, Dovbyk, Kone, I fail to believe that we couldn't afford the wages for those 5 type of players. So this can't be an excuse every time we don't get a player is that it's wages. We pay good wages. Yeah. We don't pay Man City wages, but we pay good enough, and I'm sure we play better than some of these clubs around Europe that are struggling financially. So
I think we're 6th.
Yeah, there we go. So look, it is what it is. Look, we know what will happen. I think we'll win the next 3, and then everything will be forgiven because we've beaten 3 teams we're meant to be beating in terms of Brentford, Coventry, and Qarabag. And then the moment we play our next good team, I don't think we don't win, and it will all start again. So thanks for having me. I've really enjoyed it.
Big up, Sava. Thanks for coming on.
Well,
Ian,
we're
going to win the league, right?
Okay, I'm not going to say anything too mind blowing. I think I agree with Sava when he said it's a cross between it's the blind leading the blind with the chairman and the manager. I agree. I mean, Dan and I cross heads regarding Archie Gray. I'm sure we will a few times until we actually see Gray in action. But I do agree with everything Dan said in this summing up just now. Ange is out of his depth, and when you look at the players that he's walking away from, I mean, we had the chance to buy Eze. You know, it was well documented in the press. He had a release clause. We only had to match. You know, we only had to match the figure in the release clause, and the player was ours. And he didn't. He was just focused on Gallagher. That was his priority. He wasn't interested in Eze. We didn't get Eze. What a game changer! We needed someone like him today to conjure something out of nothing.
Yeah.
And we didn't have that. And nothing for me personally. As I said on your show last time or the time before, so still rather, I feel cheated for the last 23 and a half years because we haven't had owners who match our ambition or want to win trophies. And until they sell up and go, nothing will change and every manager will be set up to fail. I know that sounds really gloomy, but that's how I feel. And it's not just about Arsenal. You know, Arsenal, the games this season, we're talking about the micro situation. The macro situation is much worse, and it's been going on for 23 and a half years.
Spot on. Mr. Box Office.
Firstly, big up Ian and big up Michael. Reason why I'm saying those two is because you got a lot from me, especially you, Ian, and you taking it really well. To be fair to you, and respect to you, bro. Respect to you, bro. No. Because
what did you expect him to do? Take it roughly?
No. Big up. Because that takes a lot.
I'm mucking about, mate.
Alex. Do you know what it is? Everyone knows exactly what you're trying to say, but the way you deliver it is just comical, man. It's like you don't realize the way you deliver it just sounds.
I have respect for people that can take Mr. Box Office Unleashed. You know what I mean?
We get what you mean, though.
I
Everyone gets
respect
what you
people.
mean.
You know what I mean?
It's funny.
It's all passion. It's all passion.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. You know, I'm not actually angry. I'm big up.
Take care.
Go.
But yeah, I'm big up to them, and just to say this really, this week on Mr. Box Office TV, you haven't seen nothing yet. You ain't seen nothing yet, because I've got some planned videos that you're gonna blow your mind, because honestly, I've got some receipts. I've got some receipts. You know what I mean? Because you might have thought Stelios and Sava got abuse. I got abuse as well. I got abuse from the very, very start. So I've got some receipts for a lot of people. Yeah. So just watch out for Mr. Box Office TV. Yeah. And I stick by what I say. Yeah. Because I did it on one other channel, which I'm not going to name. I said the worst thing that's happened to this club was us getting to that Champions League final. And that's all I need to say, and that's it, because it's deluded everyone. It deluded me, but now I saw the truth. And then when Mr. Box Office was born, look what's happened. Yeah? And that's all I need to say, and that's it.
Alex, Poch performed a miracle.
Exactly. That's the problem. He performed a miracle, and that was the problem. Like Stab was absolutely spot on, and that's it. I'm going to sign out like everything, like I always do. I'm the Mr. Box Office, the main event, the Professor of Truth and Entertainment, the ratings killer, everyone's guilty pleasure, and the nightmare, and that's it. Back to you still, I'm done.
Pleasure.
I've had enough of this crap.
Guilty pleasure.
It's genius. It's absolute genius. Jerome Super Chat says Spurs can't even do the maths right. We could have got Tony for 40 million, Eze for 60. Instead, we got Solanke and Gray. Make it make sense, mate. Listen, in fact, Jerome, thank you to Jerome. Thank you to Scott M, Frankly Tottenham, Bring It Big Boy, Faz, Dietrich Kane, the Spurs Danalist, Bertie Hotspur, Relevance, William Leone, and Jay Mallon, all for your super chats and memberships. Thank you so much tonight. I'm going to finish off saying this. Until I see Spurs change in how they buy players and start bringing in oven-ready, quality-proven players, not the best of the best because we'll never get them, but the Caravascalias, the Ezes, that level, for me, nothing changes. And I think Ange is doomed simply because he's going to die on the sword of accepting the players that he's signed. They're not good enough. And I probably get more criticism and hate for having to go at Werner, Johnson, these types of players than anything else. But these are the players that are going to cost him his job. Mark my words. So I'll leave it at that. I hope Spurs win the next game. I hope we go through in the Carabao Cup. I really do. I want us to win a trophy. So we'll see what happens on Wednesday. It's either going to be delight or more drama. Guys, thank you everyone for coming on the show tonight. Thank you for everyone in the comments for watching the show.
Yes.
Big up to all of you. Much love and have a good night. We'll see you next show, which is tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m. Take care. We're out of here. Come on, you Spurs.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.